Shit, little nigga 40 on the hip, pay the extra 40 for the kid. My boy sees crazy with the guns, really extraordinary shit. This ain't for no ordinary lick. Call of Duty scope up on the stick. Ducked off eating Raising Cane's to mean I'm extra saucy with the dip. Black and blue, I'm saucy with the drip. I would've made a saucy little crib. Managerial skills ill to mean the boy boss up in this bitch. Taking flights to Boston in this bitch. Fast and thrill across, I'm feeling rich. Know I'm on my money making shit. Family call me money making mix. Haters mad cause money making sick. Nigga jumping money making. Know I'm on my money.
Trimedia Records.
Shit happen quick. I fell in love with this rapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the cabbage. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be like shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the cabbage. Let's go. Hit 'em with the staff, carry emo. Floating on the track like a speedboat. Staying in my prime like a Beto. Eating chop cheese on the East Coast. While I'm on the lead from the West Coast. Bad little bitch, take a time plan. Whole lot of flavors in our downtown. Hit you with a nigga for the rundown. It's immaculate. How hurt you make a rap like a beat spot. Whole lot of flavors in our downtown. Hit you with a nigga for the rundown. It's immaculate. How hurt you make a rap like a beat spot.
Yeah. DQ. Check. Look. Boys can't do what we do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, then we back in the stew. Boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Hey, boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Hey, top rope, swanton bomb, D-town, cold town shit. Little nigga 40 on the hip, pay the extra 40 for the kid. My boy sees crazy with the guns, really extraordinary shit. This ain't for no ordinary lick. Call of Duty scope up on the stick. Ducked off eating Raising Cane's to mean I'm extra saucy with the dip. Black and blue, I'm saucy with the drip. I would've made a saucy little crib. Managerial skills ill to mean the boy boss up in this bitch. Taking flights to Boston in this bitch. Fast and thrill across, I'm feeling rich. Know I'm on my money making shit. Family call me money making Mitch. Haters mad cause money make them sick. Niggas jump with money make them sick. Married to my check-ins account. Relationship gold type of shit. First place gold type of shit. Gold teeth mode, yeah, I'm lit. Niggas can't do what I do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Ayy, sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, now we back in the stew. Ayy, boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boys can't do what we do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, when we back in the stew. Boy, I make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boy, I make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Yeah. It just feel good. Let's go. I done popped out. Niggas thought we wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing us. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protective with my energy. That's why I'm selected for the victory. I done popped up. See, my presence is a fabricated. DQ and rap beats on the affidavit. Collaborated, all beats get decapitated. I want the whole thing. Motherfuckers trying to get a piece. One of a kind like a Mona Lisa. I steady dicking chickens dying till they go to sleep. I done popped out. Niggas thought I wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing us. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protective with my energy. That's why I'm selected for the victory. It's a new day. Never tripping over yesterday's problems. Always pay my dues and I pay homage. Threw some diamonds in the watch to remain timeless. Goddamn. Cut the twist and I left them at your whole crib. Waved up, niggas swimming with no boat skill. I ain't had a can of Marys in like 4 years. What's up, Nazir? Your daddy swagging on these motherfuckers. 10 toes flow harder than a candy sucker. Smelling good, getting blessed like a granny supper. Amen. Yeah, tabernacle in the holy chapel. If you ain't ready, we gon' leave it at you. BFCMG, bitch, we need a statue. I done popped out. Niggas thought I wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing up. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protected with my energy. That's why I selected for the victory. I done popped out. Niggas thought we wasn't showing up. Ha ha. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing us. No? DQ, nigga.
Solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah you. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. One beat, one sweet, one deep. Infatuated, have my accolades look like a master's made in heaven. 7 different type of ways to make a woman pay whatever. Clever, chillin' in the shade, getting blazed, smoking pebbles. Fruity, chillin' with my duty, that's my sonny, get whatever. Never worried about your tears on the road to the cheddar. Yeah, I died freshman year, now I'm back fresh as ever. Never worried about the motions, cause these hoes will say whatever. Whatever, ever. Alkaline for my fitness. Chillin' back, minding my business. Roll up a stick of that icky. 45 by my kidneys. Niggas say they want that green. Well, an eighth gon' cost you 50. See my white boys, they fuck with me. Got a boathouse on Lake Whitney. Bills just like my chicken. Meaning like my shit crispy. Yellow bone cutlet jiffy. Cornbread chick who with me. Niggas don't like me here, but they love me in my city. Your mama love me when she hit me, and she hug me with her titties. Hot. Oh. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah you. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. One beat, one sweet, one deep. This that satisfaction, cruise control relaxing, blowing blunts in traffic, manufacturing dope and wave files, MP3 the package, send it off, guess I'm gaining traction, love to get reactions, people make reaction videos off the shit I mastermind and masterfully keep the masses behind me, I mastered the science, mystics, the chemists, the Mayans, my ass is applying, knowledge and wisdom combining, I dig a little deeper, in turn I'm finding my Zion, look, cropped up, propped up proper, keeping pretty girls to myself. Never had a selfish type of mind. I passed the chick to somebody else. 35 footer with the left. I walk and shimmy off like a stealth. Elderberry fresh up off the shelf. Sea mouse good for my health. Never had a loser type of mind, cause losers think winners never lose. Can't equate to sugarcoat the moves. Off the bank into the bank I choose. Every time the kid touch the mic, I double up and plus I touch the news. We gon' keep it bustin' on you dudes. One self-production, yeah, it's smooth. Oh. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah you. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. One beat, one sweet, one deep.
Media Records.
Swear the shit happened quick. I done fell in love with this this rap shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be slapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Let's go. Hit 'em with the Steph Curry emote. Floating on the track like a speedboat. Staying in my prime like I'm Bezos. Eating chopped cheese on the East Coast. While I'm on a leaf full of weed smoke. Bad little bitch at the compound. Whole lot of flavors and got dumb pounds. Hit you with a million for the rundown. It's immaculate how I choose to rap when the beat is fire. So I lit the match. Produce myself, I made the track, I bet. My uncle hit denied in his head. Actually, contractually, it's bitter. Factually, a casualty to niggas. Happily and tactically, I get it. Peach cobbler, high and dash, I hit it. Fuck whatever that they talking, my nigga. I'ma always be me. I ain't gon' change. Whatever that they talking, my nigga, I'ma always be me. I get my thing. Fuck whatever that they talking, my nigga, I'ma always be me. I ain't gon' change. Fuck whatever that they talking, my nigga, I'ma always be me. I get my thing. Swear the shit happen quick. I done fell in love with this rap shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be slapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Let's go. When the shit happen quick. I done fell in love with this rap shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be slapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Let's go. A grown man takes his destiny into his own hands till he rests his feet on his own land. Check my heart, I beat to my own band. Chest move complete. A grown man takes his destiny into his own hands till he rests his feet on his own land. Check my heart, I beat to my own band. Chest move complete. When the shit happen quick, I done fell in love with this rap shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be slapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Let's go. When the shit happen quick, I done fell in love with this rap shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Skins above average. Every single verse, I be slapping shit. I just want the love and the happiness. Fresh purple buzz in the canopy. Let's go. Let's go.
Trimedia Records.
Slow dance in the mirror all by herself. Yeah, hit the vape, so I know she feeling herself. Know I want her in that bodysuit, it don't help. Yeah, milk chocolate and in my mouth. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend. Since high school we got it poppin'. In college we never stop it. When we link, she get the link. When we meet, she get the meet. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend. She slow dance in the mirror all by herself. Hit the vape, so I know she feeling herself. Yeah, know I want her in that bodysuit, it don't help. Milk chocolate and in my mouth, she gon' melt. She slow dance in the mirror all by herself. Yeah, hit the vape, so I know she feeling herself. Know I want her in that bodysuit, it don't help. Yeah, milk chocolate and in my mouth. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend. Since high school we got it poppin'. In college we never stop it. When we link, she get the link. When we meet, she get the meet. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend. Hope this feeling never ends. Sheets are getting wet. Bites is on your neck. Different type of sex. When we do connect, cameras is correct. Movie getting made. Quiet on the set. Tattoo on the throat. Fire with the neck. Yeah, fire with the neck. Dragging on the throat. Fire with the neck. Yeah, fire with the neck. She slow dance in the mirror all by herself. Hit the vape, so I know she feeling herself. Yeah, know I want her in that bodysuit, it don't help. Yeah, milk chocolate and in my mouth. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend. Since high school we got it poppin'. In college we never stop it. When we link, she get the link. When we meet, she get the meet. She my sneaky little friend. She my freaky little friend.
bunch of hoes here. He was smooth as ice. Smooth as ice. He was smooth as silk, baby. He was good. Yeah. I see him put it up, put it down. He gotta go down, he rise up. He moved from town to town, place to place, city to city. Nigga got around. Nigga got around. Oh yeah. I go to New York, I hear his name. Yeah. I go to Cleveland, I hear his name. Chicago, I put his name down. They know it.
Check. Chill with the babbling, nigga known for the traveling. Like I can't dribble, I'm hitting hoes with the javelin. Put it in the middle, I'm steady roaming like Vatican. Syllabus and cannabis, pimping, I'm now establishing. Wolf out the pack, I'm catching styles straggling. Pussy dead stock, I'm ripping hoes out the packaging. Points that I'm averaging, think Kyrie is passing them the ball. Watch me ball on niggas, it's so spectacular, they ill-advised. Stepping in no shit because I'm hella wise. Serving up this pimpin' like some curly fries. A Gus chicken gripping on some girly thighs. Fried like some pickles when I swing and glide. Having conversations, entertaining vibes. I peep her body language and she peeping mine. I ask if she hungry, she say what's her rhyme. I crack a smile and give her ass some curly fries. Said it's such a spectacular feeling. Real rap, no cap, I'll be macking these women. Shiesty down, condom on, I'm attacking that kid. Rent paid, stomach full, spectacular living. Say my closet is hated by Peter. The fox fur got them hotter than plated fajitas. Parallel when I park and they paying the meter. My 2 cents that I give belong to the museum.
The other day had a brand new Cadillac, a whole bunch of hoes in it. He was smooth as ice. Smooth as ice. He was smooth as silk, baby. He was good. Yeah. I see him put it up, put it down. He gotta go down, he rise up. He moved from town to town, place to place, city to city. Nigga got around. Nigga got around. I go to New York, I hear his name. Yeah. I go to Cleveland, I hear his name. Chicago, I put his name down. They know it.
They ill-advised. Ain't stepping in no shit because I'm hella wise. Serving up this pimpin' like some curly fries. A Gus chicken gripping on some girly thighs. Fried like some pickles when I swing and glide. Having conversations, entertaining.
Trimedia Records.
Yeah. DQ. Check. Look. Boys can't do what we do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, then we back in the stew. Boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Hey, boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Hey, top rope, swanton bomb, D-town, cold town shit. Little nigga 40 on the hip, pay the extra 40 for the kid. My boy sees it crazy with the guns, really extraordinary shit. This ain't for no ordinary lick. Call of Duty scope up on the stick. Ducked off eating Raisin Canes to mean I'm extra saucy with the dip. Black and blue, I'm saucy with the drip. I would've made a saucy little crib. Managerial skills ill to mean the boy a boss up in this bitch. Taking flights to Boston in this bitch. 1,000 thread lacrosse, I'm feeling rich. Know I'm on my money making shit. Family call me money making Mitch. Haters mad cause money make them sick. Niggas jump with money make them sick. Married to my check-ins account. Relationship gold type of shit. First place gold type of shit. Gold teeth mode, yeah, I'm lit. Niggas can't do what I do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Ayy, sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, now we back in the stew. Ayy, boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boy, we make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boys can't do what we do. Buy it for one and we sell it for two. Sack the shit all the way up, trap the shit out, and we back in the stew. Boy, I make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Boy, I make this shit look easy with pleasure. They never can do what I do. Yeah. It just feel good. Let's go. I done popped out. Niggas thought we wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing us. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protective with my energy. That's why I selected for the victory.
I done popped up. See, my presence is a fabricated. DQ and ride beats on the affidavit. Collaborated, all beats get decapitated. I want the whole thing. Motherfuckers trying to get a piece. One of a kind like a Mona Lisa. I'm steady dicking chickens down till they go to sleep. I done popped out. Niggas thought I wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing up. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protective with my energy. That's why I'm selected for the victory. It's a new day. Never tripping over yesterday's problems. Always pay my dues and I pay homage. Threw some diamonds in the watch to remain timeless. Goddamn. Cut the twist and I left them at your whole crib. Waved up, niggas swimming with no boat skills. I ain't had a can of Marys in like 4 years. What's up, Nazir? Your daddy swagging on these motherfuckers. 10 toes flow harder than a candy sucker. Smelling good, getting blessed like a granny supper. Amen. Yeah, tabernacle in the holy chapel. If you ain't ready, we gon' leave it without you. BSMG, bitch, we need a statue. I done popped out. Niggas thought I wasn't showing up. Niggas thought that we was slowing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing up. What's good, king? That's a text you probably get from me. So protected with my energy. That's why I selected for the victory. I done popped out. Niggas thought we wasn't showing up. Had to prove these niggas ain't no hoeing us. No? DQ, nigga. Solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah you. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. One beat, one sweet, one deep. Infatuated, have my accolades look like a master's made in heaven. 7 different type of ways to make your woman pay whatever. Clever, chillin' in the shade, getting blazed, smoking pebbles. Fruity, chillin' with my duty, that's my sonny, get whatever. Never worried about your tears on the road to the cheddar. Yeah, I died freshman year, now I'm back fresh as ever. Never worried about the motions, cause these hoes will say whatever. Alkaline for my fitness. Chillin' back, mindin' my business. Roll up a stick of that icky. 45 by my kidneys. Niggas say they want that green. Well, an eighth gon' cost you 50. See my white boys, they fuck with me. Got a boathouse on Lake Whitney. Bills just like my chicken. Meaning like my shit crispy. Yellow bone colored jiffy. Cornbread chick who with me. Niggas don't like me here, but they love me in my city. Your mama love me when she hit me. And she hug me with her titties. Ha! Oh. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah you. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. One beat, one sweet, one deep. This that satisfaction, cruise control, relaxing, blowing blunts in traffic, manufacturing dope and wave files, MP3 the package, send it off, guess I'm gaining traction, love to get reactions, people make reaction videos off the shit I master, masterminding masterfully, keep the masses behind me, I mastered the science, mystics, the chemists, the Mayans, my ass is applying, knowledge and wisdom combining, I dig a little deeper, in turn I'm finding my Zion, look, cropped up, propped Cooped up proper, keeping pretty girls to myself. Never had a selfish type of mind. I passed the chick to somebody else. 35 footer with the left. I walk and shimmy off like a stealth. Elderberry fresh up off the shelf. Sea mouse good for my health. Never had a loser type of mind, cause losers think winners never lose. Can't equate the sugar coat the moves. Off the bank into the bank I choose. Every time the kid touch the mic, I double up and plus I touch the news. We gon' keep it bustin' on you dudes. One self-production, yeah, it's smooth. Oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting blow. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Yes sir, one sweet, one beat, one deep. Yeah, oh, hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. Hey, solo dolo when I'm getting low. One beat, one sweet, one deep.
Tried to get these niggas gang, but niggas too lame, they switching the code. I fuck with some niggas that bang, that wasn't my thing, but they still my bros. My niggas know if it go down, I'm right in town and ready to go. I stay with that 9 on my side, not ready to die, so that bitch gon' blow. I tried to get these niggas gang, but niggas too lame, they switching the code. I fuck with some niggas that bang, that wasn't my thing, but they still my bros. My niggas know if it go down, I'm right in town and ready to go. I stay with that 9 on my side, not ready to die, so that bitch gon' blow.
Out the tomb like Tutankhamun. Off the top going noodles like a bowl of ramen. The watch that I got, it control the climate. Cause the room get cool when I clean the diamonds. Black pea coat with the purple lining. When the weather change, boy, I know the assignment. Me and Eli put 3 hoes a day, nigga. It's safe to say that the stars is aligning. Like the Cowboys, the best of linemen. The mind state that I'm in is hell can times 10. Hyperbolic time chamber that I vibe in. Kissing friendly fried shrimp and some freaking 5 friends. Me to buy 8, I'ma fuck her buy 10. And she show some ID before I even slide in. Say she like girls, I'ma make her find friends. And it ain't a verse, it's a Bible scripture, amen.
I tried to get these niggas gang, but niggas too lame, they switching the code. I fuck with some niggas that bang, that wasn't my thing, but they still my bros. My niggas know if it go down, I'm right in town and ready to go. I stay with that 9 on my side, not ready to die, so that bitch gon' blow. I tried to get these niggas gang, but niggas too lame, they switching the code. I fuck with some niggas that bang, that wasn't my thing, but they still my bros. My niggas know if it go down, I'm right in town and ready to go. I stay with that 9 on my side, not ready to die, so that bitch gon' blow.
My niggas call them never missing action, smoking back to back, forget to even pass it. I done jumped inside that water, now these times it's getting harder, it done turned me to a savage. They probably hate when they see me, cause I'ma always keep it street and I'ma probably pull a bad bitch. Pull up like Godfather, I ain't doing no talk, could probably never catch me lacking. This shit can get dangerous, shit can get dangerous, shit can get dangerous. You gon' jump in that water, it's gon' get harder, it's gon' get dangerous. Dear Heavenly Father, make them think smarter, I'ma get dangerous. Better know just how far, cause I'ma go far, and it ain't no taming us.
I tried to get these niggas gang, but niggas too lame, they switching the code. I fuck with some niggas that bang, that wasn't my thing, but they still my bros. My niggas know if it go down, I'm right in town and ready to go. I stay with that 9 on my side, not ready to die, so that bitch gon' blow.
Better nigga
like me. Can't be like me, I'm a crazy ass nigga, no controlling the shit. What you saying to me, no controlling this beat. Crazy to me, how you claiming to be. What you don't understand, I'm a G. What you don't understand, I'm a beast. Let me know if you can talk like me. Swag guy with a pipe full of cash on me. That's why I always got a sag on me. Make a bitch pop a tag on me. Put the thing down good, gas on me. I'm a grown man. 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 I've been grown for a while, man. I don't even know what it feel like to be a child, man. I've been living like a wild man. Might do a show, pop everybody in the crowd, man. Like 5, 5, 5. You get it too. Tight on the 1, hit not the 2. Fucking my bitch only time I come 2. If you want pounds, get them 3 for the 2. Got a whole lot of that, these niggas, they want my spot, I'm perfect. I've been so fucked up that everything I do is purposed. Niggas out there flexing with no money, what's your purpose? I've been so fucked up that everything I do is perfect. Worth it, worth it, worth it. Been so fucked up that everything I do is perfect. I'm a grown man, I'm a grown man, I'm a grown man. Better nigga wanna be a real nigga like me. Can't be like me, I'm a crazy ass nigga, no controlling the shit. What you saying to me, no controlling this beat. Crazy to me, how you claiming to be. What you don't understand, I'm a G. What you don't understand, I'm a B. Let me know if you can talk like me. Swag guy with a pipe full of cash on me. That's why I always got a sag on me. Make a bitch pop a tag on me. Put the thing down good, gas on me.
These facts, baby, ease back. Bitches come in threes like them swishing sweet leaf packs. It's that well respected Waco, Texas, Andre 3 stack. Pulling bad bitches, what that old Patty B's at? I'm known around this bitch. Hate the half is on the brick. You can't hit my phone for shit, but if you hit my phone for hit, you gon' hear a phone go click. Probably somewhere with my hometown homegirl on some stone and shit. Send her home and shit with that bone that you won't forget. Bitch, I'm on the list. Can't smell shit, I'm cold as shit. Please don't have no bone to pick. I keep that grip, it's loaded. I might take an acid trip, get some brand new acid dip. You can say I mastered this. I made the beat, I'm goated. Yeah, I'm on the list. Can't smell shit, I'm cold as shit. Please don't have no bone to pick. I keep that grip, it's loaded. I may take an acid trip, get some brand new acid dip. You can say I mastered this. I made the beat, I'm goated. Yeah,
I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. Better nigga wanna be a real nigga like me. Can't be like me, I'm a crazy ass nigga, no controlling the shit. What you saying to me, no controlling this beat. Crazy to me, how you claiming to be. What you don't understand, I'm a G. What you don't understand, I'm a B. Let me know if you can talk like me. Swag guy with a pipe full of cash on me. That's why I always got a sag on me. Make a bitch pop a tag on me. Put the thing down good, dance on me. I'm a grown man. Grown man.
That's right.
When a nigga had a brand new Cadillac and a whole bunch of hoes in it, he was smooth as ice. Smooth as ice. He was smooth as silk, baby. He was good. Yeah. I see him put it up, put it down. He gotta go down, he rise up. He moved from time to time, place to place, city to city. Nigga got around. Nigga got around. Oh yeah. I go to New York, I hear his name. Yeah. I go to Cleveland, I hear his name. Chicago, I put his name down. They know it.
Chill with the babbling, nigga known for the traveling. Like I can't dribble, I'm hitting hoes with the javelin. Put it in the middle, I'm steady roaming like Vatican. Celibacy, cannabis, pimping, I'm now establishing. Wolf out the pack, I'm catching stylists straggling. Pussy dead stock, I'm ripping hoes out the packaging. Points that I'm averaging, think Kyrie is passing them the ball. Watch me ball on niggas, it's so spectacular. They ill-advised. Stepping in no shit because I'm hella wise. Serving up this pimpin' like some curly fries. A Gus chicken gripping on some girly thighs. Frying like some pickles when I swing and glide. Having conversations, entertaining vibes. I peep on body language and she peeping mine. I ask if she hungry, she say what's her rhyme. I crack a smile and give her ass some curly fries. Said it's such a spectacular feeling. Real rap, no cap, I'll be macking these women. Shiesty down, condom on, I'm attacking that kid. Rent paid, stomach full, spectacular living. Say my closet is hated by Peter. The fox fur got them hotter than plated fajitas. Her live when I park and they pay in the meter. My 2 cents that I give belong to the museum.
Nigga had a brand new Cadillac and a whole bunch of hoes in it. It was smooth as ice. Smooth as ice. It was smooth as silk, baby. It was good. Yeah. My city put it up, put it down. If I go down, it rise up. Move from town to town, place to place, city to city. Nigga, I go to New York, I hear his name. Yeah. I go to Cleveland, I hear his name. Chicago, I hear his name now. They know it.
They ill-advised. Ain't stepping in no shit because I'm hella wise. Serving up this pippin' like some curly fries. They Gus chicken gripping on some girly thighs. Fried like some pickles when I swing and glide. Having conversations, entertaining vibes. I peep her body language and she peeping mine. I ask if she hungry, she say what's her rhyme. I crack a smile and give her ass some curly fries.
Watching around the world.
Pull up the seat and pull out the shot glass. Carnivorous for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass. The coalition of bitches, they talk trash. On the mission to fit in your soft ass. Rolling green and clubbing this golf class. Loaded lust couldn't say they lost ass. The campus community streets is all sad. Niggas be thinking the heat they all last. Be conscious of all the sand in the hourglass. Be humble when be prepared when the power pass. Old and young niggas, we all class. Ideology different, we move the ball fast. Yeah, these chickens is out of season, we haul ass. There's a reason we undefeated, it's all fast. Pull up a seat, pull out a shot glass. Carnivorous for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass. Pull up a seat, pull out a shot glass. Carnivorous for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass. Let's go.
Yeah. Haha. Check. Look. When we first sent the email, reply was all crickets. 3-man weed, tell my mans book the tickets. From the sideline, y'all gon' have to look and listen. While y'all business on the book, we tryna sell a book of business. Playing with your mind, yeah, the logo looks suspicious. AI technology, surviving through the glitches. My first flip was 3,000 and all 50s. Couple sticks and stems, but buds was all sticky. Now we're building corporations, doing no hesitation. It's triple fours, get on board with my rotation. All Genesis, they thinking it's Revelations. This all first verse, my pen ain't no location. All leading up to try media innovations. Revenue streams, residual situations. Revenue stream, not rivers, so be patient. My cash flow quadrants, margins so spacious. Kush covers on the market, you can taste it. My ebook hit the web, you can't erase it. When my voice hit the track, it's a wavement. I'm somewhere shopping, buying jewelry out in cases. I attract money, baby, I don't chase it. And I don't slap honeys, baby, I replace them. It's integration if you want that conversation. Handshake, grip it tight like I'm a Mason.
Trimedia Records.
This is my story. To get the story.
On your ID, you see me calling nigga. Out of his league, a workaholic nigga. Nickname, big game, big thing. Handle his business, he never switched lanes. Had some brain surgeries in high school. Still came out that bitch a top dude. Moved to the city of the Mavericks. Came out this bitch drunk and classy.
Gotta hit it like tap it in the zone. Share it with the world, make the vibe known. Subscribe to the beat, feel it in your phone. Catch the waves we throw, you ain't alone. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep the rhythm alive, we thrive. Hop on this digital ride. Let's multiply the vibe worldwide.
It's that motion, when I flow this shit. Nigga just so legit. You damn boy if you sliding, how many hoes you get? Me? They be on my dick, smelling like the coldest scene. Looking good, that wood filled with the animal clover mix. When I pop that shit, it's the oldest trick. Literal coldest shit. Baby text me since you got a phone up pick. I'ma
We gotta wait, what? Took a little minute, was patient, but now we take it. Anytime we want this game, my situation is entertainment intertwined with information. Alchemist soul, how we move the tassel and roll. It's amazing how we can turn something brass to gold. And we steady making hits. Architect with the prop in the scripts. It's logical that the product will flip. My boy Chef did the lineup, I'm fresh in the bitch. Carnivorous podcast, the newest show on the list. DQ on the boat, so I'm rocking the ship. Swallow music gon' be dope and the artist legit. Hold my beard, concrete cord, then step in the door. See, that's my man and he reppin' for show. And true saviors a player with flavor. Lexicon Taylor, lines on point like a laser. We need that paper, we building the vault. Cause you niggas don't listen, y'all be waiting to talk. Lack accountability and try to make it our fault. But opposing us is trying to arm wrestle the hawk. You coming up short on your re-up, this nigga we up. Really wouldn't want to be up. I kick my feet up, my beef is wagyu and my trunk is all speakers. Bills is all blue and my blunt is all reefer. With possible deniability, that boy eater. High quality, whack juice by the liter. They like to call us ops, we got Oppenheimer features. That's the bomb out on the island just to teach you.
What up, though? Brass in the building, Brass TMI. I just want to say I got my doctorate in Oxford. That's an inside joke. This Discord that we have is one of the most hilarious, spontaneous comedy places in the history of the world. You never know the conversations that go on. Like, we're literally discussing doctorates in the Discord right now. The Discord link is pinned. Shout to my brothers. Let me get this out the way. Shout to my brother Hits. Shout out to my brother DQ. Y'all been listening to DQ for the last hour. We play this music and y'all kind of think of DQ kind of sometimes as an afterthought because he don't really do the shows and stuff. But a lot of the visuals that you see, a lot of the music that you see is powered by DQ. He's our media guy. So can never forget him. He has an EP show on Tuesday. Come check it out. But I decided, we play this music. We got Tribe Media Records thanks to Hits and DQ and some creative financing. And then shout out to my big brother Logic. Logic had a great show last night with God Killer. Shouts to Unc. Shouts to PK. I gotta stop saying That's ignorant as hell. The great show last night on activism. I hope y'all got the point. So let me get this second thing out the way. Shout out to my brothers Carnivorous Podcast. That's Corey and Chef. Like I always say, it's a privilege to be able to stream live on both channels. Like and subscribe to both. But it's always a privilege. It's not a right. So I'm always deal with those brothers from a state of gratefulness, a state of thankfulness. Let's see who we got in the building. I see Mika in the building, #1 female mod in history. We got Gayasi in the building, Hits in the building, Logic, shouts to you, my brother, Proof Evidence in the building. Sadiq in the building, Pam Mulatto saying play some Tony, you old as hell. Everything is everything. Shout to Chef. And I got Kyle. Kyle will be on the screen shortly. I want to give y'all an idea. And you could turn your camera on at any point. We're gonna go ahead and get the show started. Great show last night from Logic. I gotta reiterate that. Appreciate Unc for coming through to the platform. We had a fire show with Chief X the other night. It was a crash out show. I got another crash out show coming. I think I secured it. I'm waiting on the text back. It's gonna be real fun. This is the king of all crash outs. I know that he's going to speak his mind and has no fear of saying what is on his mind. I wanted to do this show because I don't know if y'all paid any attention. I put the picture up of the young man. I think I'll do it again. I put a picture up of the young man. His name is Caleb Wilson. Now, I don't know if y'all heard of him, but Caleb Wilson was hold on, I'm going to just put him on the screen. Okay. Let me change this banner. Kyle, you can join us. I give you a nice intro with the camera on or not. R.I.P. Caleb Wilson. So Caleb Wilson was. I'll just read it from the article. So this is coming from the idea of the president of Talladega College. So he wrote this by Walter Kimbrough. And he says in 2004, he was hired for the first time as an expert witness in a hazing death. For those that don't know what hazing is, it's the pledging process. Now, hazing sometimes gets only tied to fraternities and sororities, but hazing is also, it happens in sports, it happens in business, it happens, believe it or not, in some churches, some religions. In order for you to join something, they put you through a process. I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but they put you through a process, kind of like a break you down to build you back up to be a member of whatever that group is. Kyle will give us as much information as he can. Kyle is known in the conscious community as your favorite noob. He's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. But back to the article. So in 2004, I was hired for my first time as an expert witness in a hazing death. Based on my experience advising fraternities and sororities, along with my research on these groups and career as an emerging leader in academia, the legal team thought I had expertise that would complement their legal training. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett. That sounds like what she said. Instead of saying that she was a DEI hire, shout out to that sister. That case proved to be just the beginning. Over the ensuing decades, I've worked over 24 hazing cases and been asked to work on another 24. I worked on the tragic case of 2 women who died pledging Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority in the early 2000s, and the high-profile death of a band drum major at Florida A&M University in 2011. After a while, you start to see patterns develop. I look for artifacts that show these patterns, aided now by social media's historical record. I closely examine depositions and I look at the ages of the accused. So, when the news of the 20-year-old college student, Southern University and A&M college student Caleb Wilson's death was first reported at the end of February, my instincts were activated. According to reports, the young man was pledging Omega Psi Phi fraternity, but ended up dumped at a nearby hospital by a group of men who claimed he had been injured playing basketball. Staff at the hospital called the police, who later told reporters that Wilson died as a direct result of a hazing incident where he was punched in the chest multiple times. The circumstances reminded me of the 1994 death of Michael Davis at Southeast Missouri State. His Kappa Alpha Psi brothers only called 911 the next morning when they found him unresponsive with the greenish black liquid coming from his mouth. The official story, which quickly fell apart, was that Davis had been hurt playing football. In reality, Davis had been brutally beaten to death. The first person arrested in Caleb Wilson's case, an undergraduate student, was listed as 23. Several days later, a 25-year-old student was also arrested, and then the final suspect is a 28-year-old graduate student who served as Wilson's Dean of Pledges. Now, this is not to isolate any one fraternity. I'm not bringing up Kyle to have a conversation specifically about. Okay. Kyle said he's having some issues with his camera. I couldn't hear you either, Kyle. This is not just about Kyle. We're not up here to discuss Kappa Alpha Psi. That's not the thing that we're up here to talk about. I'm here to discuss one thing now. In all full fairness, I've been through the pledging process. I won't tell you what organization I'm a member of, but I have been through the pledging process. My older brother has also been through the graduate pledging process of another organization. Now they're totally different, right? One, when you're in school, it's just different. I don't want to go there. So this is not to discuss Kappa Alpha Psi. This is not to put a highlight on Black fraternities only. Like I said, this is there are statistics. I got some statistics that will definitely bring you some information in regards to hazing deaths, period. Now, here's the crazy thing about hazing deaths in the United States. There is no database for it. There's no database whatsoever. It's not like they have like a database where they could log these deaths. That's the scariest part about it. So I'm gonna just do some quick ChatGPT research. Kyle will be back with us in a second. Armchair philosopher. He says, I went to 2 military schools. I'm an expert in hazing. I'm sure you are. Armchair philosopher says, get Shaka almost up there to crash out. That would be great. Yeah, that would probably be entertaining. Shouts to him. Shouts to you, Mika. Desmond. Shouts to my brother, I Love Sosa. Yeah, I saw the Warriors choke that game up. So looks like they'll be in the play-in. I guess Jimmy Butler isn't Kevin Durant or whatever. So shouts to you, Lakers T-Wolves first round. What it do? All right, so what can I say about okay, so today was a Wild Wild West. Ancient Egyptian God Best. Kanye West, Lakers in 5. I'm not concerned about the T-Wolves. I don't need Anthony Edwards is a young pup. My Lakers got 2 big dogs, Luka Doncic and the GOAT, LeBron James, and I'm willing to debate that live if anybody wants to ever have that conversation. So I just want to give a little bit of information about hazing while we get my brother Kyle on. Give me 1 second. He's going to do a great presentation, and I also want to be clear. This is not about Black. This is not specifically about Black Greek organizations and anything that they've done. Hazing is something that when you study it, you begin to realize that it's all over. It's like a ritual process. They all have different definitions. They all have different reasons. Like my man, Armchair Philosopher just said, he went to military school. He's a genius in hazing. They have it in sports. They have it in all walks of life, things that you wouldn't believe. So it made me question, as a Black man, African-American man, who's been through the process, I wonder if that legacy, if we still need it, if these guys are dying, if these young children that are going to college and they're just trying to get their degree, just trying to get somewhere in life, joining fraternities, joining organizations, whatever, for different reasons. If they're losing their life, is this something that is? So I wanted to talk to a Kappa that I know, someone in the organization that I know that is public, that can give me some true history, not just conversation sometimes in the Discord. So I think my brother is, I think his camera is doing okay. Just give me a thumbs up if your camera's okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna bring you to the stage, and then you want me to introduce you first, or go into some of these statistics? Matter of fact, I've been talking for 10 minutes. Let me add you to the stage, my brother Kyle, smart man, blurred out his background for all these scammers and people that's gonna try to figure out where you live. 1 second. Let me remove it. You know how I feel about these people, Kyle. I do shows for them, but some of them, I don't know, brother. They start calling you a skateboarder and looking for your baby mom and all kind of crazy stuff like that. It gets wild. What's up to my brother Kyle in the building? You on mute, brother. Not still can't got your audio. Go ahead. I'll get into this. Just soon as you get your audio, just go ahead and start talking. So I looked up Caleb Wilson. So my question to ChatGPT was, I know about Caleb Wilson's hazing death. Can you give me comprehensive stats and a number of hazing, pledging deaths, injuries, major issues in the U.S., sororities, fraternities, irregardless of race? Sosa hates when I say irregardless.
Yeah, can
I
you hear
don't
me?
even like it. Yes, I can hear you now. If the chat can hear Kyle, put a 1 in the chat. So I'm gonna go into this real quick. Hazing, matter of fact, no, stop. Man of the hour is here. You go, my brother. What's going on?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. I appreciate you inviting me on to have this discussion. I think it's necessary. I think a lot of people have misconceptions of the organization as a whole based on the unfortunate events, and RIP to Caleb Wilson and all the other people in the past that have had, excuse me, unfortunate experiences with the hazing that's going on in the fraternities. But you go ahead, you dive into what you want to go to.
Okay, so look, Sosa telling me I'm making up words. I'm gonna look up irregardless. It sounds like an amazing word. I think I'm gonna keep using it, but I can't confirm whether it's a word or not. I'm gonna look it up. So this is Sosa. You always just messing with me. Sosa and is having the weirdest conversation in our Discord right now. Our Discord link is pinned. Go ahead and join. I was listening to DQ's music in the pre-show and watching the Discord, and that conversation that y'all are having is one of the weirdest conversations I've ever heard in my life. Okay, so hazing within U.S. fraternities and sororities has been a persistent and deadly issue affecting students across diverse backgrounds. So here's some of the key statistics on hazing. Let me see if they, okay. Prevalence among students. Over half of college students involved in clubs, sports, or Greek life have experienced hazing. That's on bestcolleges.com. Annual incidents. Approximately 1.5 million high school students are hazed each year, with many encountering hazing before they even get to college. Hazing-related deaths since 2000, there have been at least 105 hazing-related deaths among college students. So 2005, we're in 2025, 105, so that's roughly about 4+ a year. From 1969 to 2021, at least one university hazing death occurred annually in the United States, totaling over 200 deaths since 1838. Okay. So common hazing practices and consequences. Hazing rituals often involve alcohol abuse, forced consumption leading to alcohol poisoning, physical abuse, beatings, paddling. I am a member of the Century Club. You'll never know what that means, but I am definitely a member of the Century Club. Other forms of physical harm, psychological stress, sleep deprivation, humiliation, and isolation, dangerous activities, forced calisthenics, exposure to extreme conditions, and other hazardous tasks. So notable hazing incidents. We noted Caleb Wilson, a Southern University student, died after being punched in the chest during a Omega Psi Phi fraternity ritual, leading to a fatal seizure. Stone Foltz, a Bowling Green State University student, that's in my state, Ohio, died from alcohol poisoning of a Pi Kappa Alpha initiation event his family reached a near $3 million settlement with the university. Tim Piazza, a Penn State student, suffered fatal injuries after excessive drinking during a Beta Theta Pi hazing ritual. I hope they rest in peace. One of the systemic challenges that you have with hazing is lack of centralized reporting. There's no national database tracking hazing incidents, making comprehensive data collection difficult. Cultural normalization. Many students don't recognize hazing behaviors as problematic, leading to underreporting. And then there's institutional resistance. Efforts to reform or abolish Greek life often face pushback due to alumni influence and institutional traditions. There have been legislative and preventative measures. The Stop Campus Hazing Act. This is pending federal legislation, aims to establish a uniform definition of hazing, mandate incident reporting, and require educational programs on campus. And then they have state level reforms following high profile hazing deaths. Several states have enacted stricter anti-hazing and increased penalties. As a matter of fact, because of Caleb Wilson, RIP to the brother, Southern University, they've actually stopped all fraternity life and sorority life on that campus. So they actually have just gotten rid of it. So even though it remains a significant threat, you can look up a lot of these things yourself. My brother, I know you want to do a presentation. If you want to speak a little bit on that, you can. I can't believe I still had this screen up the entire time. I was reading ChatGPT. I sound so intelligent, like I just did that off memory. I was reading from ChatGPT, to be 100% honest. So I'm going to make myself smaller, like I wish I could do in real life. I'm going to make you bigger. Speak your speech, brother. Let me get to work.
Nah, no doubt. Appreciate it, bro.
Yep.
And I appreciate everything you just read. I mean, because it definitely has meaning behind it. It definitely has real life consequences to hazing and going through that pledging process in the illegal manner or illegal way. One of the issues that I have with not particularly what's happening, but just the scenario just currently is that pledging and hazing are two separate things. And so they want to cut out both of those things and just allow people into organizations, and or even stop it. And the good is you don't have to worry about anybody life being taken or anybody being injured in one of those kind of ways. But the bad is kind of where I kind of want to circle the conversation to for my presentation, is because for our personal community, we have a huge stake in the fraternities and sororities, based on how we actually integrate it into society. That a lot of people may not be aware of or know about. So what I'll kind of do, if it's okay with you, I can go ahead.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay.
I'm ready. The floor is yours. We will be taking a link at the end. I may ask a few questions in between, but for the most part, brother, the show is yours. Just give me information. I'll share your screen and get to it.
Okay, let me get my screens up right quick. Okay, we should be good to go. All right, so this ain't gonna take long, so y'all just bear with me. Hopefully, it's not too boring. But
No. Stop.
Okay.
Stop real quick. I had 137 people in here watching a crash out for Chief X. So let me tell you something. These are the kinds of shows I don't care if they watch. These are the kinds of shows that I want on YouTube forever. So that at any point when something happens, it's a reference point. Live, I really don't care who watches anything that I do, because I know the majority of people will pull up for ignorance and won't pull up for intelligence. So I want you to take your time. I want you to be thorough. I'm trying to find the best camera to put you on. I'm going to drop down so it's just you on the screen, because hopefully somebody looks at this and understands the legacy of Freemasonry, the legacy of Black Letter Greek organizations. So no, take your time, be thorough, because this is something I think could be researched. I already read this 3 times. I actually showed it to my brothers and my sisters. They are in love with this, and one of them, who is up in West Haven in Connecticut, is trying to do a version of this for the students at Yale because they just had a hockey hazing incident. She doesn't work at Yale; she works with them, and it's one of the things that she wants to present because she's comfortable. She has a good connection with that school. So I'm here. I'm gonna drop down. You got me for anything you need. Just ask. But I want it to be you, the screen, and your presentation. You're gonna see the screen move a little bit, but I'm trying to get it to where it makes sense. Okay, go ahead, my brother. I like that.
Okay, cool. So, for the conversation today, I want to dive into a few things. And so the title of the presentation is Architects of Freedom and Civil Rights in America. And below the pretext is dealing with Prince Hall, Freemasonry, and the Black Greek letter organizations, which I would just go by BGLO from here on so that we're all on the same page. So my first slide is I want to give you a visual of what we're discussing. What we're discussing is infrastructure. We're talking about the system of America, how it works. And there's pillars, there's layers to this system. It doesn't just operate. Things are stacked on top of things. Things are formed together. And these things create a hierarchy or a structure or a structured organization. My next slide is giving you context. So this is contextually based in, well, its origin is the Reconstruction period. The Reconstruction period is 1865 to 1877. This is right around the time where you have Dred Scott, people are being set free nationwide. You have your Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. The 13th Amendment was signed in 1865. This is hence the Juneteenth thing. Then you also have the Reconstruction Act of 67. 68, the full citizenship to our people was granted under the 14th Amendment. 1870, you have the 15th Amendment ratified, so now black males can vote. And 1877, the withdrawal of Northern occupation in the beginning of the so-called period of redemption. The period of redemption, we all know the consequences of that. You have black people being freed, and then you have white people that were actually trying to redeem and get back their freedom. This is where you have like the Jim Crow laws that's starting to be established on that side. During this process, you have a few things that's being built. And just to give more context too, I want to define the term that I'm using for architecture in this sense. The definition of architecture that we're going to be using today is structural framework. It's going to be the structural arrangement and design of something complex. Just an example, the architecture of the human brain, the architecture of a computer system, the arrangement of a song, the architecture of the song. All of these things are complex design things that we sometimes we notice, we see that's a beautiful building. We say, oh my God, he's so smart. Oh my God, my iPhone and my computer works, but we don't understand a lot of things that built and made those pieces kind of go together. And I just want to give a little bit more insight of the pieces that we're talking about so that it kind of all fits together for us. The first piece of this for us as African Americans is going to be Prince Hall Freemasonry. This is going to be the original foundation. Remember, we're talking about a structure being made in thought, right? A abstract or the imaginary structure, right? In this imaginary structure, the foundation of this structure was Prince Hall Freemasonry. The original foundation was from 1775 up through 1870s. This is when Prince Hall introduced African Lodge number 1. What this did was create an autonomous black space during slavery and the early forming of the republic here for us. What it did and still does, it gives us organization structure that empowered leadership and development. With Prince Hall Freemasonry, key abolitionists were also Prince Hall Masons. That gave them an organizing space so they could have meetings. And I'll get to the importance of being an organization in a second here when I kind of circle back to it. And they also, at that point in time, they played a key pivotal role in the Underground Railroad and the abolitionist movements. financial institutions were established, and mutual aid societies stemming from the Masonic networks of lodges. This is the importance of the Masons here. So I'm going to dive into a few things here. The Architectural Foundation, Prince Hall created the first Black-led institution with international recognition, providing crucial international or organizational infrastructure outside of white control. So everybody that say this stuff about Black Masons and white Masons and they got control and they follow the same thing, they're not. Absolutely, they're not. That's the first error in the thought process, because you don't understand what the organization is. And I'm here to just give you a little bit of insight from what I can about the organization, origin, structure, and its purpose. The institutional status allowed for activities that would have otherwise been suppressed. So having the Masonic Lodge during the end portion of slavery was okay, because it was an organization that was internationally recognized. And so these people could go to these different lodges to have lodge meetings. The lodge meetings were helped to set up underground railroads up. You will find different allies that would help us, but I'll dive into that deeper. So you also have the institutional foundation piece to it. You have the portion where it deals with the operations of the Underground Railroad, with setting up routes. We also use the quilts as well to coordinate these routes, so that people would find a quilt that would know the temple or the Masonic Lodge is 3 clicks or 3 meters that way. Go over a hill, you see the monkey wrench, make a left, that type of stuff. So these are the things that's going on. Prince Hall Masonry also was involved with key court cases and different challenges and discrimination. So you have that aspect. Also did publishing. So they published materials, put these materials out for people to circulate amongst African Americans at that point in time. They also helped contribute to the Civil War, which was the fight for the freedom of the people in the South at the time. And they brought up leadership for the 13th, 14th, civil rights, all these different things. And also the Freedmen Bureau was established. Also, the Masonic Order also laid the foundation for educational and economic institutions within the community, like as far as banking systems and business networks. If you look into Tulsa, Oklahoma, you'll see a lot of influences from the Masonic Order out there as well when they did Black Wall Street. So all of this stuff kind of carries over.
Well, let me ask you a question before you move on. I know it says Reconstruction leadership. Can you give us a little bit more information on the Prince Hall Masons were instrumental in establishing the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments? Like, what are some of the things they did, or maybe some of the people that were instrumental in that? Or what do you mean by that when you say that? Were these legislators? Were they civil rights leaders? What do you say?
Yeah, it's actually right here. So they actually they worked and they helped to pass the legislation for it. So like a lot of these Masons and different organizations in the future, they actually worked with legislation. They got involved in politics, and they actually lobbied to get certain things passed, and they partnered with certain allies who were abolitionists that worked to get those things passed for our direct benefit.
So what you're saying is that their process was to work with the government through legislation to help our people, and not necessarily just creating a concept that isn't real, that we can go and establish our own land and stuff like that. Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to be clear.
I'm sorry I didn't make that clear, but at the end I feel like I kind of tied it all together in my mind. But so they did these different things. They worked with the Underground Railroad with the symbols, like I was saying. They worked with the legal challenges, like court cases like the Walker case in 1783, which effectively ended slavery in Massachusetts. They also had protests against the Dred Scott decision, because that decision went back and forth for a while, and they organized and fueled those protests to make them stand on a particular stance of that, and that actually was the catalyst that brought all these things together to kind of push the movement forward. Let me see. They also had the Freedmen Journal, which was a way to circulate literature so people can all be aware, because they didn't have the internet back then. They had to have some way to circulate initiatives directives, you know what I'm saying? And so they came up with a calculated system of how to push this narrative into the masses to get the masses on board. After the Reconstruction period, you have a lot is really kind of going on and forming. And the reason why I showed that the image of the building or the house earlier, because there was already a pre-existing system. That system represents the tower of not necessarily supremacy, but the tower of the infrastructure that was already created. So white businesses had what 300 years of infrastructure built up. They had connections they was making, and we were outside of that part of American society. And what this did was it created the beginning stages of the integration into the America that we built, if I can say that so kindly. But
I love it.
you know, it forced them based on the narrative that was given to make those allowances and to make those laws get passed, make those policies get pushed to the forefront, to make them stand on the words that they were saying for the most part. We also have the influence and the economic influence and education, because the first thing that you want to do is when you're getting out of a terrible situation is you want to make sure that you're free first and foremost. And secondly, you want to worry about education. That's what kind of Prince Hall was focusing. They had a lot of opportunities for youth development, but at some point we'll see. Matter of fact, let me go to the next slide. I'm just freestyling at this point. But basically, I'm saying all that to say that this is the foundation, right? The Masonic order was the foundation. So the foundation has been laid with the Masonic order. They made the connection. They got the policies passed. They got Dred Scott decision. They did everything to make those changes in our community and in America. And the second thing was now it was education focused. So this is where you see Brown versus the Board of Education. You start seeing law schools, and this is kind of where you start getting the Black Greek letter organizations involved, which is what we would call the Divine Nine. Now this is coming around the Jim Crow era, maybe a little bit forward, but this is right in that time period. So you have the first organization being officially started in 1906, but we do have organizations starting in 1903. At one point, Alpha Phi Alpha and Kappa Alpha Psi was a joint organization. It was called Alpha Omega, and that was going to be the organization for Black people to start their origins from. And you got to think this is the point in time where we're starting to want to be educated outside, because there wasn't a lot of HBCUs scattered throughout. So we wanted to get education where we were, right? So you see this forming at Howard University and also University of Indiana in Bloomington at the kind of the same time, because the Black route through the Black college to Howard University, that was an easy situation. But what about those students that were at the white schools, the PWIs? And this is where Kappa Alpha Psi came into the equation, because they had a split. And the Kappas then organized the original was Kappa Alpha Nu. Then there was getting racist. Actually, it was Alpha Kappa Psi, and then it was Kappa. It's so hard to say 3 times fast, but then the name changed a few times throughout the organization. But it finally got incorporated in 1911. So that's anyway. And for me, the Kappas actually, that's the reason why I joined the organization, because it was actually fighting white supremacy at its fucking core. At the when you're being introduced to it, when you're an intellectual individual, you're in college, and what was happening was these college students, they were actually being beat, they was being spit on, they weren't allowed to go to class. One of our actual founders, Marcus Peter Blakemore, he actually was murdered. He was burned alive.
Really?
Yeah. So like these are the challenges that they was facing at a point in time, and these people came together with a goal, and their goal was to be the people who kicked in the doors or opening doors that allowed other people to get in certain places. This is why people have this negative stigma capitalism or be in some kind of clandestine organization, whatever. No, these people are the ones that opening up the door. I'm sure y'all seen the movie and read the book, The Spook That Sat at the Door. That's what the purpose of the organization was, is to integrate into these systems, allow this organization to become now a black space based on your efforts, because our motto is achievement in every form of the human endeavor. And our purpose is to go out into each area that we can maximize our opportunities there, and then allow and pull those other individuals into the organizations, so that we can take over them at the end.
So I want to give you some. So I went through your PowerPoint and I did some of my own research. So I wanted to see if you knew. I'm gonna start. We're gonna play Did You Know, right? In the street, people play Swear to God, but I'm gonna say Did You Know. So Did you know that the earliest form of the fraternities, Alpha Phi Alpha and your fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, they were protest organizations?
Yeah,
they weren't party clubs. They were like
no,
because the academic spaces were so hostile for Black people at the time. They kind of use these things as survival mechanisms.
Yeah. That's why capitals wear canes. Will have canes, is because they use those canes as means of defending themselves against whites, and also like dogs being sick on them. So they would start carrying around the canes, and we just make, how Black folks do. We make anything fucking cool. It was it was stabbed, and then we got canes because they were trying to not allow us to have large staffs on campus, and so we said we need walking canes, and we started to play off of that, and then we started using that as a how Black people do again. But yeah, you're absolutely right. These were organizations that were just there, but the thing is, they were trying to make it illegal or a banned thing to do for Black people to congregate on campus. But the way to get around that was to form an organization, and then you could congregate on campus. So like if you're all in the same house or whatever, they wouldn't allow any of that stuff. Like you're in the same space for too long a time, they feel like it's some kind of conspiracy being propagated, and they would break those things up. But once you became an organization, you can't disband an organization without having just me do so. And so that's the reason why these things became fraternities incorporated, because now you're an international company on the college campus. From my understanding, I don't think a lot of white fraternities even were doing that at that point in time, so they could be disbanded.
Not even. Yep. They didn't need to. They didn't have that. Like, I think that incorporated was a necessity, and that goes into, also, we keep having these narratives in the Discord, Kyle, in the conversations that we have of working with versus working against. A lot of times, if you would play the game and have some sense to what you're doing, some hustle to what you're doing, stop being just crazy, be crazy like a fox, and use the tools that you have. Tools don't necessarily always, corporations don't have color. A lot of times in a court of law, you are just a color, I get it. But a lot of times you have the ability to use the tool of incorporation to get you some benefits that'll help you. I know the 501c3s, the Hebrew Israelites, that's one of their things that they hold very high and dear, that they were able to get that as a classification, because that opens up so many things to them, so many protections for them, and then also so many financial protections. I'm gonna ask you a question. So like when people discuss the Divine Nine, and this is no disrespect to them, right? But when people just ask the Divine Nine, a lot of people can't go through the whole nine. And what I've noticed, I did this when I was in school, and it was like a little test or whatever. And Sigma Gamma Rho, right? These are people that this is, that's another organization. But unlike most D9 organizations, in 1922, Sigma Gamma Rho was founded at a teacher's college, not even an HBCU. It was founded at Butler University in Indiana. Shout out to Concrete Corey, a majority white institution. It highlights how this sorority bridged both Black advancement and integration through education during a racially tense era. Can you imagine forming a Divine Nine organization at a teacher's college, majority white institution in Indiana in 1922?
Yeah, man. I mean,
I'm just picturing I'm just picturing the thought of. I know these people were looking around like, "What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Or what is this even about?"
But to your point, though, that's the same thing with Kappa Alpha Psi. We both were formed at in Indiana at predominantly white institutions. And this is where we kind of grew our alliance at, because we were the first ones that stepped into that white space and said, "Hey, no, we're gonna be here. Y'all can't keep us out of here." You know what I'm saying? That also another reason why they have canes as well. But but these things were used for protection while those on those organization grounds. But one thing that I do want to point out from this slide is the organization mission. It was about scholarship. It was about empowering yourself with knowledge of, you know what I'm saying, for yourself. It was about leadership, so you can show that next generation that, hey, I can do it, and it makes it easier for that next person once that first person goes to that space. But it also points out service. All these organizations are community service driven organizations. So to even be a part of the organization, you have to have a certain amount of hours of community service and dedication to your actual community before you even accepted or even thought to be accepted to come.
Before it's even considered.
So yeah, before you even get considered, you gotta do a year and a half, 2 years worth of community service to even get on the list. So the next slide I want to kind of dive into just like the what I was talking about, the transition from abolition to civil rights. The Masonic order really focused on the from the abolition point of view, and then when the college fraternities came into the equation, this is where the civil rights factor became more of a fight for these organizations in their latter years, in the mid year, because we're in the latter years now. And so you also see the continuity of leadership between the Masonic order and the Black organizations. W.E.B. Du Bois himself was a leader of a fraternity himself. He was Phi Beta Sigma. Harlem Renaissance figures connected with these organizations. Economic development initiatives and Black business networks were created out of these networks. Legal strategy development and support for early civil rights cases. They came directly from these college and university organizations. Like, it wasn't like the people that was at home, it was the people in college that was the ones who was backing. Like, for instance, Brown versus Board of Education, that case was it rode the coattails of the precursor of that, which Kappa Alpha Psi pushed. And they actually, I'll get to it in 1 second, but we did the casework on that one, and that casework was then based on those legal precedents, was what Brown versus the Board of Education kind of rode on. You also have Thurgood Marshall and the NAACP teams, and they all, not all, but I would say 75 to 80% of those individuals also tied, because those ties create a network. Those networks that you have are backing, and now you have people in your local chapter and also other chapters that's pushing the same initiative. Let me go next. This is the Brown versus Board of Education. So you have, let me see, student activism. This is in that whole era of civil rights. My bad, here we go. So Thurgood Marshall here, he's an alpha. He served as the lead counsel in this case. Robert Carter, also an alpha, worked as the Marshall's assistant in the NAACP team for James Nabbit. He was a Q, Omega Psi Phi, was one of the key attorneys who argued the case. The legal strategy developed through networks, partially formed within the Greek letter organizations, connections at Howard University Law School. A provided financial support for the NAA. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the money for this case came directly from the alphas. The lawyers were alphas. You know what I'm saying? And like, if people that sit here and say like these organizations need to go, I mean, I get it, but you need to understand the full history. And this is why I'm going to give is a little bit more of the history so that we can all understand the organization. Now let's dive into the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Congressman Adam Clayton Powell, another alpha, he chaired the House of Education and Labor Committee. Hubert Humphrey, A5A, played a crucial role, and I should have probably took that out, but he's a member of A5A. They do honorary members. In my frat, we don't do honorary members. Played a crucial role in the Senate. Greek letter organizations coordinated letter writing and campaigns to Congress. Delta Sigma Theta, they actually have a national headquarters in DC, and they use their their location there to be the hub for lobbying for the bill. 8 Alpha Kappa Alpha members conducted comprehensive research and study and documentation of discrimination that provided legal evidence for the legislation. And other chapters helped public forums educating communities about the legislation impact. So they helped get behind it. If you notice, Dr. King, he was an Alpha. What's his name? Abernathy, he was a Kappa. Like these people were using their fraternal ties to get the
as a network. Yeah, like a network. Right. I got you.
They use
service, a network of service. That's the beauty of it. It wasn't just about business. It wasn't just about money. It was service. That was the beauty of it to me.
Exactly.
Somebody said that Booker T, not the wrestler, I'm assuming, but Booker T. Washington was actually a honorary member. I don't know. You must have been discussing a fraternity. I know y'all don't do honoraries, but maybe Alpha Phi Alpha. I'm assuming if it's Booker T. Washington, because that would be.
Well, if he was an honorary member, it was unbeknownst to me. But either way,
no. I think they were adding on. I don't think they were saying like. I think they were like kind of saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to make nobody an Alpha or a Kappa, but they really was.
Yeah. I could dig that.
Yeah. So, I'm okay with being wrong, right? So let's dive into the frats and sororities for a second and see what they actually did. This is Alpha Phi Alpha. They have something called the Legal Strategy Team to this day. Alpha Phi Alpha members Thurgood Marshall, Robert Carter, and William Mean formed the core of the NCAA's Legal Defense Fund team that argued Brown versus Board of Education. The fraternity not only produced these key attorneys, but provided financial support for the litigation and used its chapter houses for strategy sessions. A national organization, formally adopted civil rights litigation as its program priority in 1945. Like, what are we doing here? Channeling resources specifically to constitutional challenges. Let's go to the next fraternity, right? Man, I skipped one, I think. Maybe not. All right, so the next thing, Kappa Alpha Psi, we have something called a guide right program. And this is based on the guide right testimony. The guide right program, we meet one time a year. This is at our national conference. They move city to state, state to state all the time. We still do this to this day. So Kappa Psi's National Youth Mentorship Program, Guide Right, provided extensive documentation of educational inequality that was presented as evidence in both Brown versus Board of Education hearings and congressional testimony at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Program directors systematically gather data on school conditions, teacher qualifications, and resource disparities that help demonstrate the failure of separate but equal policies. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. They won the other case out in the Midwest, and they used that as the backing for Brown versus Board of Education. This is how the fraternities all work in a cohesive unit because they all have different initiatives. Let's go to the next one. Omega Psi Phi. Beginning in 1952, Omega Psi Phi launched the first national voter registration program with the goal of building Black voting power to force civil rights legislation. So now you got to come from all angles. You got the people getting the people registered to vote because they gave us the right to vote. They even fucked up now. And now we pushing this shit. We getting this, and we get
I can see you getting comfortable. Go ahead, my brother. I love it. Go ahead.
My bad.
No. Go.
Yeah.
Like it can't just be like, you know, because I know how strongly you feel about it. So
yeah.
Go.
Yeah. So we went out there. We fought through the Masonic order to get the right to be recognized as people, to get basic human rights. Now that we got basic human rights, we've got the legislation to give us voting rights and civil rights. And now that we got these civil rights and voting rights, now we're getting the people to vote to make the reality for African Americans and what the African Americans want for themselves, right? And so we do all these things. We're creating these different changes. We've got these legislations being passed. They actually registered over 100,000 voters in 13 years, which is phenomenal. And
that's a crazy number.
They helped to pass the Congress, the Congressional Voting Rights Act. So shout out to the Q dolls out there. Let's go to the Phi Beta Sigma. Under the leadership of George Washington Carver, Phi Beta Sigma instituted the Social Action Plan. So now we're getting the people involved in 1934. which became a model for organized civil rights activism. The program established voter registration drives in the South decades before the Voting Rights Act and documented cases of discrimination that were later used as evidence in congressional hearings on civil rights legislation. And lastly, this is my last one, but we can go on and on with these different things. I'm just giving y'all what's going on. Lastly, I'm going to shout out the ladies here. Delta Sigma Theta. They have something called Delta's Congressional Lobbying Program. In 1963, Delta Sigma Theta established a formal legislative advocacy office in Washington, D.C. This became the first Black Greek letter organization with a permanent legislative presence. So they are permanently there, still there to this day. The office coordinated thousands of members to conduct targeted lobbying campaigns for Civil Rights Act of 1964. They systematically assigned members to specific representatives and senators, providing briefing materials and coordinating testimony before congressional committees. So doing all that, this is what gave us civil rights. For first thing we was fighting for our humanity. Now we're fighting for our civil rights. So the first step was handled by the Masonic Order. The second step of this fight for our freedom and legislation was handled by the Greek sororities and fraternities, right? So that's step two. Step two, check. Let's go to step three. Step three
before we do that. Let me just run a quick commercial so that I can go ahead and pay the bills, give you a chance to get a drink of water. Y'all get in that Discord. Link is pinned to the chat. I'm going to run 2 commercials. We're going to get right back into it.
Okay.
Want to grow your brand? Advertise with Trimedia. Reach thousands on YouTube, social media, and more. Targeted, effective, affordable. Contact Trimedia today and get noticed where it matters.
All right. I had to pay the bills real quick. You know, this is a professional thing. Like I said, I hope that y'all are enjoying this live. Understand that the majority of the information that comes on YouTube is not necessarily live content. So when we do these live shows, me and Kyle could have very well recorded this and then just premiered it and put it out. But, you know, I asked the brother on a Sunday to see if maybe he wanted to do this live, and then we'll curate it, put it out put it out. What is it, perpetuity? I know Sosa always watching the words I'm saying. Perpetuity means going. So yeah, all right. So we'll go with that. So all right, my brother, go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right. So, and this next illustration kind of goes back to that original thought that I was introducing of how to build our America, right? So this is the contrast to their America. So our America has a foundational level, which is the Masons and later the Christian church kind of fused into that, because the Christian church definitely helped out, right? The next step was, after we got the rights applied to us for human rights, we took a step and we wanted to get organized and wanted to get into the intellectual spaces and kind of take over those excuse me for a second. The next step was to get it involved in a collegiate level and also establish the mutual aid societies. And lastly, the thing that's happening right now as we very much speak, and the reason why a lot of people say that we don't need those bottom 2 layers, is because sometimes when you're in a situation and you don't understand how you got to where you got to, you kind of discredit it, and you don't necessarily see the value of having those type of organizations. But those organizations are the very things that holds up those other organizations. And my biggest thing is right now, a lot of those things that Trump is trying to do, Trump is trying to tear down the foundation of where we are right now. This is my biggest issue with Trump, is that he's going directly at the foundational level and those Black Greek organizations and those mutual aid societies, because he's not allowing things to be separated anymore, because the separation that they created for us was the greatest strength of us building to this high of an organization structure and hierarchy, and just in general. But here, that's neither here nor there. But right now we're at the peak level, which is building offices and building different spaces on top of the building that we have, because the office spaces are always at the very top. The VPs, the CEOs, this is the goal that we want to have, and it takes the foundation. The foundation level is where the janitor is. The second, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting it on top of the thing, right? And what a lot of people look at for liberation or for freedom for Black people is to have a piece of that American dream, because the American dream does not belong to white people. The American dream is the concept of America. And what we have created is our structure, our White House, I guess you would say, or Black House, or whatever, our building that allows the participation of people of our generation and the next generation to be involved in that. And so what we are doing now is we're doing professional networks. We're building, we have the unions, you have the youth development programs like Kappa League, you have Operation Hope, you have all these different organizations that were later developments of those previous organizations, because those purposes have been served, and those purposes are also still being served because these things are active. If the foundation gets diminished, then the rest of the building falls down with it. Same way with the Black Greeks. If those if those fall apart, the Black Greeks are who are making the professional networks. The mutual aid societies who's making the, you know what I'm saying? Like, all things are key components to where we are right now. And let me go to the next slide. I ain't got that many more. I'm sorry.
No, please keep going.
So the next slide, there we go, is we are still building. And I'm just going to read this verbatim because I typed it out and I want to read all my words. All right, so as a grant, and I'm kind of tied into that whole building thing. So, and once you realize what the G is and the Masonic, but anyway.
Yeah.
I think, hey, this is a little game, man. You got to understand. Sometimes we don't understand the architecture, the design, and we just step back and say that's a beautiful building. But this is what went into the building that we're admiring.
There's a system to it. There's a certain level of, yeah.
So as the grand blueprint of the Prince Hall Freemasonry and Black Greek letter organizations constructed the foundation for justice through slavery's abolition and civil rights legislation, these master architects of liberation understood their design for Black excellence extended beyond legal frameworks. The structural integrity of these historic institutions have been precisely engineered networks of mutual support, leadership, development, and social change for nearly 2 centuries, now supports newly constructed pillars of advancements in African American communities. The architectural plan meticulously drafted by these visionary believers have been reimagined in a scaffolding of today's youth initiatives like the Boule. You know, y'all don't like the Boule, but they doing Project Alpha, and it's got, you know, that's how the Alpha, the top layer of the thing. They build their network so they can keep the money at the very top. But there needs to be every layer. A5As go to high school, go to college. That's another program dealing with the youth. So they actually reach out to youth in middle school and high school, get them prepared for their next step in life. We have the Guide Right program and also Kappa League, which I'm a part of, alongside professional cornerstones such as Executive Leadership Council, the Black MBA Association. You have NCB, which is the National Society for Black Engineers. I'm also a part of the Black Water Professionals Alliance, which is through AWWA. Like, these are definite huge programs which are globally recognized, you know what I'm saying? And technology pipeline programs. You have Black Tech Networks. You have what was the one you said your sister's in? I forgot the name.
Girls Inc.
Yeah, Girls in. You have all of these things coming from these people who got into college because of what the frats did. Now they're making their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's a beautiful thing because we're creating these pipelines and programs for the youth. These modern edifices of opportunity stand as a testament to the original craftsmen who understood the true freedom's architecture requires not just the dismantling of an oppressive system, but the continuous building of an institutional pathway that elevates each generation to higher heights in power, prosperity, and purpose. And that's the thing that these organizations do. They assign a purpose for these people in there. Hey, you got to go do this. You go do that. You go into this field. Once you get into that field, you call James. James with the beta chapter. He good people. He gonna put you where you need to be. Or the the Q dog may get a position of power in his job, and he see my resume come across that. Oh, you a new? Okay, cool. I already know you about what you supposed to be about. I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna give you that chance. And this is why people on the outside of organizations and may feel some kind of way about it, because it definitely gives you an unfair advantage. Because I know if I'm lined up interviewing with another noob, I'm gonna get the fucking call. Because he knew what I went through to be a noob, and he knows my purpose, my directive, and my goal for Black people. And so that being said, man, I got like one more slide.
I want to say something to you real quick. Shout out to the Sigma Beta Club. Though it's a Phi Beta Sigma youth group. They were involved in my high school, and they helped out a lot. A lot of them didn't become Phi Beta Sigmas, but a lot of them got into college and got into, even if they didn't get into college, they were able to get into local trades and things in New Jersey to help. Shout out to my brother, Jess Hoffman. I invest and support a group called Build in Jersey City, New Jersey. That's ran by a former police officer that wants to help kids, prevent them from going to the streets. And my cousin, who is one of the, I don't know what but Girls Inc. is something that you could do in your state, but I believe it originates in Georgia, and that's a national Girls Inc. One of the things that national female group to help females specifically. One of the things that when you're talking about service, when you live a life of service, you'd be surprised how much you actually get out of it. Every holiday, Christmas, New Year's, anything where you have like the big dinners, nobody in our family eats until we've served. That's a rule we've had in our family for over 70 years. And you'll be surprised. It's like I'm sure you've done service in your life, that I know, because I know your background. And even in doing service, it's not something that you're always happy to do. You don't jump up in the morning saying, you know what, it's Thanksgiving morning, I want to wake up, or it's Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, I want to wake up and go do it. But, one of the things in service, I do a lot of philanthropy, financial, but also actually putting boots on the ground. And let me see if you can relate to where I'm at. Usually the time that you don't feel like doing it, when you get there, it's like you get that second wind. When you start talking to them and you start hearing their stories, when you start identifying with people and you start seeing like the stories and talking to them, it's not just dumping food on a plate. It's not just passing out clothes and stuff like that. You get that wind, and that's how you know that the service is good for you. It's not an energy drink. It's not caffeine. It's not a narcotic. It's not, it's not alcohol. It's not something that'll change your mood or change your brain biologically. It's just doing service puts you in such a state of humbleness, a state of gratefulness, a state of thankfulness. And then when you leave, you don't really feel like you've done anything. You know how you can play basketball, football, you're drained. Like you go to the gym, you're drained, right? But when you're done with that service, you feel renewed. You feel like you've been centered. Right. You feel like you've been centered.
Yeah, not for real. Like it's like sometimes you go out and you talking to somebody, and like a lot of times people that you're doing service to, I'm gonna say a quote again. I'm probably sure you heard it before from me, but a person can never imagine a color that they've never seen.
Yep.
And sometimes just seeing hope in another person gives that to them. You know what I'm saying? And you can inspire people. You can be there right there where you need them, because a person, when they don't have any options or can't think of any options, you can be there to provide them options, or you can at least show them a good example of an option they could be in their life. You know what I'm saying? When you come from certain backings or certain environments, there's only a few ways to get out, and you can show them the way to get out. And that's what the purpose of those fraternity organizations were, and what college fraternities and sororities is to. The criteria is to, if you are in college, you got to go do service but we can consider you, because I want you to go back into your community and be a light for the other people in your community to follow that same path of education. We always talk about liberation and we need this and we need this for freedom, but it all, like right now, the centerpiece of everything that you desire is you, is the individual. Like there's no more laws that we can pass. Well, I mean, there's like, you have gerrymander laws, so like redlining, but like on the big level, right? There's no more laws to be passed from you stopping people from being successful outside of self, right? And the things that you do in each and every day of your life, the path that you take, the people who you surround yourself with, are typically a reflection of your future success. So what our goal is to be integrated into the system of success, because we went through the hierarchy, we building our own system, and you get into that system of success. You don't have to be a part of the organization, but you can take fruit from that tree that those organizations have built and use that to your advantage. This is because we're in an age now, like honestly, you don't even need fraternities no more, but we do need the members, because the members are the ones that's still doing those things in those programs, right?
And the infrastructure. It's the infrastructure. It's the ladder that you need to get up. It's the pegs on the ladder.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you need to be able to climb that ladder to get to that second or that third tier, so that you can now build a fourth tier, and then that fifth tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's each generational thing to climb higher. You know, you don't want to be the same level as your parents. You want to climb higher than them, and whatever they did, or being a Mason, or being a Kappa, or a Sigma, or a Oda, or whatever organization that these people went through, it was beneficial to us and it was beneficial to them, you know? And so, like, I'm one that we can't discredit it. We got to understand what it is, and also not be sucked into those false narratives, because the 99% of the time, the things you hear about fraternities are not true. These are from people who didn't get accepted into the fraternity, talking shit about the fraternity, but it's just being 100% with you. People say Masons are doing all kind of crazy rituals, and I'm Mason. I'm like, damn, why they went through it.
Yeah, I had somebody describe to me a Mason ritual. I was literally just looking at him like, yeah, okay. Because a lot of times I'll let a person believe, believe all of that. Like, yeah, that's just because it's such a private thing.
Yeah,
and it's such a personal thing. Like, I know in fraternities and sororities it's a little bit different than, my experience. My experience is a lot of that kind of stuff I keep close to my soul, I keep close to my heart. And I don't really, it's a private thing for me. Even the experiences that I went through, it's a private thing. It's the ongoing experiences that I'm going through. These are private things. But it's like when people hear things like that catchword, the boule, the boule, all these things sound so secret, this, that, and the other. So a lot of times when people don't have information, what I've learned, Kyle, is that they have to make something up to fit their narrative or to confirm their own suspicions, or they'd be real, right, or otherwise. So I never have a problem with it. I don't feed into it. Most times I don't even talk about it, because at this point, there was a time when it was very public for me. That was more when I was in school. That was more when my father was talking to me, my grandfather, my uncles, all these people, all my uncles, all of my brothers and sisters, all of my the elders, quote unquote, in my family were either in the military, they were either in a Black Greek letter organization or Masonry. So it's not something, I just let people, enjoy, have a time. But if you don't know something and you just make something up, I think that's a you problem, not a us problem.
Yeah, that's a big fact. Big fact, man. But I mean, really, shit, we really, that was it for me. That's all I got, man. I just at this point we can open up the floor if people have questions, or if you got questions specifically
Oh no,
about.
no, no! I got questions. You on the hot seat?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
we got
yes,
30.
sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I'm gonna play one commercial before we get into it. Put the link in the chat. Open it up. I'm gonna open it up to the Discord. Y'all get in that Discord. The Discord link is pinned. Y'all can
yeah.
come up and ask questions. Be respectful, or I will literally remove you. Shouts to Jolanda and Pseudo Killers. I don't know if they still do the star shows, but I think those is fire. I did the brain shows with Juju back in the day. Go back and check those out. But shouts to them and shout to Jolanda. I'm gonna open up the link so you can come up and ask questions. Y'all can ask questions, but I definitely have questions, a number of questions. And keep y'all questions respectful. It's not like we about to come here and break the Da Vinci Code and give y'all all kinds of information or whatever y'all thinking. But this is the opportunity to get some real information from two brothers that are linked in a way, and you know, we'll definitely go from there. All
Shout
right.
out to my man. The only she in the community. She right here. If you can see the screen, but she's right here on the top right picture, man. These are real black conferences. With
Oh, shouts to Dr. Maya. I ain't even noticed that. Shout out
yeah,
to Dr. Maya. What is that? A STEM conference or something?
I think that's the NCV conference.
Okay. Cool. Shouts to that. I'm gonna play a commercial and we're gonna come back and y'all can ask questions, or you can put questions in the chat and I'll ask Kyle the question for you if you don't. All right, so now I have to play into the topic now. We was discussing Caleb Wilson. So I pretty much know what you can say. I know what you can't say. So I'm gonna keep it as PG. And if you can't answer, I actually would prefer that rather than take a chance. Because a lot of times I've done shows like these where I was the person being interviewed, and this is back, in college days or whatever. And I would answer certain questions that maybe my peers or brothers wouldn't know that I couldn't answer, but necessarily people that were further ahead than all of us knew that you really shouldn't talk about. So I'm not asking you no secrets or nothing like that. Just provocative questions and just thought-provoking questions, right?
Okay.
So my first question to you would, and this is I'm going directly to the ancestors, right? Would Malcolm Martin or W.E. Du Bois condone what pledging has become today? What would you say in your mind if they were looking at what's going on right now? What the state of this thing is now? Because you and I both know that, like we just said, a lot of people don't know what's going on. A lot of people just they just they have their ideas of what goes on. I mean, if you went to college, the only thing you know if you've never pledged is your friend left in the middle of the night. Sometimes they came back that night. They left in the middle of the day. And you didn't know. Sometimes you didn't see them until you saw them later as a member, or you saw them later not in school or whatever. You don't know, and that's where it builds up that information. So, in your mind, as an honest question, and you don't even have to just use these three brothers. You can use other leaders of BLGOs. What do you think that they would think about the process today, 2025, now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say this. I would say if you look at the worst case scenario, none of them would agree with the way it's being done. I don't agree with how it's being done at the worst case scenarios, and Caleb, the worst case scenario. but I think there are some legitimate pledging processes that still happen today. Kappa Psi Fraternity Incorporated is a non-hazing fraternity, and so I'll say that as my disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
The intake process of the organizations typically should represent, and at inception, excuse me, would represent the trials and tribulations that the founders went through, so that the organization members have some type of regulation or have that mental, I guess you would say, blueprint, or what's the thing when you watermark of
Mm-hmm.
in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the real issue for the organizations came is when hazing and pledging was kind of muddied together and mixed together.
I agree.
This happened back in the late 2000s, around 2008, 2009, and the process was made illegal. So when you make something illegal, it typically goes underground, because prior to that, there was a process where you will have a DP, and then you will have an advisory aspect from like the alumni chapter that will come sit in and watch, make sure
Exactly.
too far, kind of like a just like a balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that everybody is doing things according to what should be done, and not no one's crossing the line. But once they kind of got removed, once they got removed, people were just meeting people, paying them exorbitant amounts of money, doing ridiculously crazy things to be part of an organization. And I don't think that that's part of the intentional intent or any intent of the organization. I think that those are individuals acting on their own selfish desires or hatred of themselves, or trying to prove something to other people. And most of those times, those people didn't go through that same process themselves, but they want to inflict additional pain on other people. And I think those people are terrible people.
And I'm so glad that you said that. Listen, RIP Caleb Wilson, RIP. There's been 200 lives lost, countless people dropped out of school, because that's one thing people don't talk about in the hazing and pledging and the pledging. They're two different things, obviously, but just the process, and whether it be good, bad, or otherwise, done wrong or right. The people that went to college, got to get an education, joined the sport to play the sport, in a situation where, how can I word this? Where maybe they weren't in school no more. You know, they were doing this for a dream that they were trying to accomplish, and they ended up missing out because of whatever tribulations or challenges. But I love the fact that you said individual.
Yeah.
I do not like when you're in a process, right? I'm trying to parse my words so much because I know my brother's watching. I know for a fact he's watching. Shout out to you. When you're in a process, anything, however you want to call it, sports, Greek letter organizations, Freemasonry, you have to understand that these are still individuals. These are still human beings. There is no perfection. So I'm not saying, and I could say this with full strength. I don't blame Omega Psi Phi for the death of a person that was trying to get into the organization through pledging or hazing, because as you showed, the amount of good that Omega Psi Phi does, their intent is not to hurt. Their intent is not to kill. Their intent is not to murder young students in college and stuff like that. There are individuals in the world, like you said, that struggle with issues of their own, struggle with self-esteem of their own, and I'm not defending any of this. But a lot of times we miss out on the individuality of ego, the individuality of self-esteem. So many times a person has to check themselves. I got to check myself all the time. You know, one of my brothers used to always tell me, when your shadow is in front of you, you're ahead of yourself. And you got to really kind of always gauge that. So I love the fact that you brought up individuality. You know, I think a lot of times they look at these organizations as blanket organizations, not necessarily that these are individuals who committed these atrocities.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're like, one thing I want to make sure, like, well, I can only speak on the fraternities that I've been through, but I will say there are no set guidelines. Well, you have rituals and stuff like that, and not no satanic ritual. Like ritual is something that you go through, and the next person through, and the person before that went through. That's a ritual. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like ain't no fucking devil worship. So like graduation is a ritual. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Exactly.
doing that makes people understand that because they love taking this shit into some satanic stuff. But you go through different rituals. The rituals are passed through all the chapters, right? And if an individual veers off that path, that individual then has done something outside of the norm for these organizations.
Exactly.
So the organization cannot be held accountable for what that individual decided to do, because I can guarantee you that those girls, rest their souls, that died in Florida, them AKAs that walked into the, I can guarantee you that no other chapter does that.
None. Actually, not only can you guarantee it, there were alumni that came back. There were administration, because you got to remember when you say AKA on certain campuses, the administration, the people that would even be in charge of policing it might be sorority and fraternity members. These are people, I won't go off into that tirade. I agree with Juju. I won't muddy the waters, but in this particular case, sometimes individuals do things, not necessarily. It's not in the name. And that's why I don't like the narrative specifically on Black letter Greek organizations, because they almost think that they operate like a terrorist organization. Yeah. Like the whole goal is to somehow do some secretive mess, some secretive craziness, when in actuality, as you stated, and that's why I loved your PowerPoint. I read your PowerPoint so many times, it's ridiculous. I loved your PowerPoint because a lot of people, when they talk about civil rights movement, they immediately go Martin Luther King, da-da-da-da-da. They don't even think of the fact that he was alpha, that was working with alphas. The Omega Psi Phi, this fraternity right now that's being vilified for the death of Caleb Wilson. In the same token, these are also the people they pretty much established the United Negro College Fund before the United Negro College Fund.
Yep.
I remember stories, my brother, he's an Omega, and he was telling me about, in their history, how they're taught, and he was showing me some examples of how they were using war bonds as far as for military, that they believe that, I wrote it down, that they were really supporting. I want to be clear, that's my brother, I love him. I can't choose what fraternity he chooses, but it is what it is. 1 second.
Yo, my man in the chat said we copied the skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what I mean. When you don't know, your brain just goes, bro.
I can guarantee you he did not watch the show at all.
No, might just tuned in. So in this Omega Psi Phi, I'm reading the text, used war bonds and civil service as organizing tools. During World War I, Omega men were among the first Black organizations to publicly push for military service as a path. See that word? Service as a path to social credibility, even while the U.S. was still segregated. They led efforts to buy liberty bonds to show patriotism and civic responsibility. Think about that. That even in a segregated situation, a segregated nation, they still understood that you participate. Go out and buy those liberty bonds. Go out and serve. This is your country too. They may not tell you it's your country. They may not treat. That's one thing about Black people that we always have had. We've always fought for this country. You know how many times my grandfather has told me, I'm never giving this country away. I fought for it.
Exactly.
Black people fought and died for this country. You're supposed to just no.
That's one thing that on the last show that was the topic. It was about civics, and we don't understand how civics is. We don't understand how civics directly benefits us. You know what I'm saying? And these organizations all practice civics. It was your involvement in your local community, your involvement. Somebody going to get a job and open the door for another brother, or your involvement, somebody fighting or organizing a voter march or a voters drive, and like that. Someone has to do these things, and the organizations are the one that say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna do it." You know what I'm saying? And it for me, it's just it's a disconnect, and a lot of people they have this idea, this grandiose idea of what success and what being an American is, and the one thing that they forget is their own fucking action every single time. Because the people who are complaining about how bad America is, I never see any of them active. I never see them at the city council meetings. I never see them join an organization that's going to better their community, unless you're just saying Facebook and YouTube complaints are just doing something. But like that's the purpose of these organizations. Now, is everybody in those organizations perfect? No. But the organizations themselves have a great purpose and great meaning behind them. And I see Chef came in. What up, Chef?
Shout out to my brother Chef Reen in the building, Carnivorous Podcast. Before we get to shout, I just want to make one quick point on that, and then I'll hand it over to Chef. That's where I get my civics from. A lot of times people think I get my civics from my degree, though. That's the degrees. That's what you get from school, right? I know many people that have gotten. We were just discussing this in the Discord earlier about, you know, doctors, and you know, you ain't read none of the latest stuff. You're a doctor, but you know, you could be teaching gym class somewhere and have a doctorate and whatever. But it's the people that are still in the field, still in the still out there fighting, that when you bring those guys on. Perfect example is, I don't want to mess this man's name up. You know what I'm trying to say, Chef. Shamarka Kieda, the doctor. Am I saying it right? Kieda?
Yeah, just say, my bad. My mic sound hot. Am I loud?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead. Well, him. I don't want to mess his name up. Y'all can type it in the chat. Soy Keita. Shouts to him. Pseudo Killers just did a show with him. And this is a person who, he could have stopped his scholarship when he got his doctorate. I think he got it from Oxford. When he got his doctorate. But this is a person through the years that you could tell he stayed sharp on the subject. He stayed studied on the new things. They just did the new information. So now when they bring him into the conscious community to have a conversation, or they bring him, period, just have him do a presentation. When they have a presentation with him, he isn't talking about something from 1,000 years ago. This is a person who's got boots on the ground, had a conversation last week on a book he just read the week before. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get my civics from my degrees. I get my civics from other things, right? I get my civics from service, from knowing that you have to serve. You constantly have to be in a position of service, and that's how you get what you got to get. Shouts to Juju. She said, great discussion, and exactly, Kyle. Donnie Williams, #1 male mod in the business. FBA fought and served black folk is a loose term. I would agree. Go ahead, Chef.
Oh no, I just came up here to give both of y'all props on Sunday for putting together this show. I love watching shows where I don't know nothing about the topic and I can learn something from it, right? Most of the times y'all see me on panels, I'm coming up to argue something. I have no argument for this. Never heard of this shit before. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? So Brash, you doing an amazing job by keeping the content going. I don't know what got into you this month, but you on it. You feel me? You on it. And Kyle, when I offered Kyle to come into the server, the first couple times I offered Kyle to come into service, he gave me some crazy excuse about what he used to say. He used to say something about he was in the computers. So he was talking about viruses and that shit ain't stable. And I'm like, man, Kyle will do good in our server. What is he talking about? But he was taught all this technical stuff and told me to download this and make a virtual machine. And I said,
virtual IP.
Yeah, I just said, you know what? You know what I mean? I don't know what this brother talk, but I knew from the discussions I always had with Kyle that he would do good over here with us and bring information that, you know, could help push us forward. So yeah, y'all doing an amazing job. I ain't know none of this about the fraternities and sororities and the role that they played and you know, the advancement of our people. You dig what I'm saying? I didn't know it was that deep, but you know, you always heard stuff about Masons, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would hear about Prince Hall and, you know what I mean, the different people that participated with Prince Hall and all of that, right? And came through those Masonic. But the Greek letter organizations, you know what I mean? By us being, you know, starting to get education in, you know, the early 19th century, which is the 1800s I'm talking about, I could see how, you know, we probably were, that was an organizing factor of educated, you know what I mean, Black people that, that was brilliant. You know what I mean? Now I got something I can research. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate that, y'all. And keep up the good work.
Dope. All right, so Kyle, shout out to my brother Psycho. Interesting hearing how people on the inside view these Black Greek. Shouts to you, Psychopatheist. I kind of felt like that's where you was going earlier. I didn't want to push it, but shouts to my good brother Psychopatheist. Right? It is based on perspective. I've watched a few shows of people discuss Freemasonry, and I look and I'm just like, I could tell they just.
But when was it ever bad? Like, so that's the point. It's all conspiracy theory because
you just answered your own question.
Yeah,
right
even in our communities, right? The Masonic groups, they always doing fundraisers and, you know, doing stuff for the community. If they're sacrificing people inside their Masonic lodges, we would never know. Like, because when we see them, they always I did a back to school drive a couple years ago at my barbershop, and the brothers brought a whole truckload of book bags and you know what I'm saying? Stack full of school supplies. The Nation of Islam brought a truckload through. You know what I mean? It was 2 local churches that's around that area. They participated. Right? Everybody participate. It was just all love. You dig what I'm saying? And I cut a few Mason brothers, right? And they always asking me to join because they older. And they like, man, we getting old, man. We need somebody, you know, we need y'all young brothers to keep this going. Like, and they be telling me all of the stuff that they got going on for the community, this, that, and the third, and the stuff they do. And me being raised Muslim, I always had a stigma about pledging or something, or you dig what I'm saying? I ain't no Muslim no more, but you know how you was raised, it stick with you. You dig what I'm saying? Yep. Certain things, you know what I mean? So I always had a pushback for that. And one of the brothers told me, look, we even study the Quran. We got the Shriners. You know what I mean? He blew my mind with that. Like, so, you know what I mean? He like, man, if you get this degree, you can move into the Shriner house and all of that. But I have a few brothers that definitely been and they good brothers. So I know they ain't on no bullshit. You feel me? They older gentlemen, they good brothers. Anything I need, they look out for me. So definitely, and my uncle is one. My uncle that I respect to the high heavens. You dig what I'm saying? He definitely in the Masonic group. So yeah, they don't do no harm. Not that I can see, like, you know what I mean? So I never heard of y'all they say y'all sacrifice people in there and all that type stuff, and they say y'all got some codes with the police. I'm talking about what the people say in the hood. You dig what I'm saying? If a Mason get pulled over, if y'all got them license tags and all of that, they don't pull y'all over. All this type of stuff, you know how.
Yeah, I know nothing of what you're talking about. So moving
they say
forward.
y'all can stand in the courtroom and do some type of symbol. You know what I mean? This is like, you know what I mean? This is what the hood say about it. Yeah, I know y'all didn't heard. Listen, I don't believe it, but I know y'all didn't heard it.
I'll tell you this, Chef. If they got
be careful,
they
my brother.
got to tell me because I was in jail.
They
show a lot of
You threw every symbol. You threw
I wish
every
you could have
symbol up
stood
you
up.
could.
I was just
Yeah.
like, man, book this nigga, man. Get him back
Yeah,
there.
he stood up and they said, really lock his crazy ass up now. This motherfucker think he crazy. You are black, sir. I don't care what you think you are. You are black. You going with him.
Yeah,
The
that's
guy that worked
crazy.
at Quickie Mart. Yeah, no. Yeah, I ain't going there. My brother, I gotta be careful because my brother's watching. So I actually have family watching this. I can't be too crazy today. All right, so I have to do this, bro. And I will actually participate in helping you answer this question. But you said it one time in the presentation, and since I've been watching things in the conscious community, shout out to Brother Reggie, he's watching. Shout out to Psychopathist. He says, Brother Reggie says, you could have Dr. Ben's Lodge. I don't know what
I'm
that
gonna
means.
kill Reggie.
Yeah.
Kill Reggie.
Oh my God. Yo, Dr. Ben just makes appearances in like the strangest conversations, strangest places. Psychopathist says he's a traveling man. Cool, man. Congratulations. Good luck with that. I actually have 2 cousins who are Masons. Yeah, a lot of people have people in their family that are Masons, I would agree. The Boule. Now, I say this with a heavy tone. I say this way because I've watched people, just people in general, destroy their idea of what the Boule is. Right? I've had people destroy their idea of what the Boule is. People that talk about it. I remember watching one time a Sonetta show with Jabari, and they were attacking him on, because I think he's Alpha Phi Alpha, and they were attacking him on the Boule. And I'd like to at least take some time, if you're willing, to at least discuss this stigma. We could probably close on this unless people want to join the panel. Discuss the Boule. What are the actual facts in and around the Boule and some of the differences? If you're willing, I'll actually help you with this. I've had these conversations a lot. I don't know how many times you've had it, but I've had people like somehow just knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am a member, that I can fly amongst the clouds and all kind of weird stuff. Is it something that you're willing to discuss first?
I'm gonna say this. I'm not a member of the Boule. I don't know.
Thank you. And I am not either. I just want to be clear.
So what the Boule is, and I live in Atlanta. This is what the Boule stomping ground is, right? The Boule is an organization of the extremely richest of the rich, and they basically they do the same thing that old white people do. You know, they organize themselves. They go play golf for white people. We make it into a fraternity. We have picnics. Not we, but they have picnics. And I don't know what the stigma is coming from. I've never experienced anybody. Like, first of all, you have to meet a social financial criteria to be in the Boule. That I think we add our shit up together, everybody, well, up here in this panel, we still would even be looked at as an applicant, right? Like, you look for like the multi-millionaires and billionaires that do major moves. I can't answer that question because I don't like speaking on things. I would feel like I would do the same thing to the Boule that people who not in a fraternity doing to a fraternity. I would be speculating. But I can say that I've never heard any bad stories about the Boule. Those things only reside in social media from my experience. And I know some pretty rich people, and none of them got an invite or nothing like that to the Boule.
So some facts in and around the Boule from my perspective, right? A lot of times people call it Sigma Pi Phi, right? It was founded. Do I gotta bring him up, Chef? Can you bring Reggie up? Shouts to Brother Reggie. What's going on, Reggie? So, Brother Reggie. So I would say this. Just the facts that I know about the Boule, and the reason why I wanted to have the discussion is because a lot of times when I discuss Freemasonry or I discuss Black letter Greek organizations, the Boule comes up, and so it's a shock to me that it's a constant conversation amongst people, and it's somehow even more secretive than Black letter Greek organizations or Freemasonry. It's like it's a whole nother level. It's like a Black secret society. So there's some facts that I know, some. But I do know this. The Divine Nine and Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, they're separate. But they do have crossover, right? They have crossover in influence. They have crossover in membership. I know Alphas was 19, I want to say 06. 06. So the Boule is 1904. So it's actually what would be considered the first Black Greek letter organization, but it's not a part of the Divine Nine. It was never collegiate. It was created for professional, accomplished Black men, lawyers, executives, scholars. It's known as an exclusive invitation only organization. That's where I would go into the comment. A lot of the nicknames that I don't know if they've given themselves or people have given them is the Black Skull and Bones by some of its critics due to its secrecy and its elite nature. The Divine Nine is very distinct. The Divine Nine is collegiate. 9 historically Black college Greek letter organizations founded between 06 and 63. It's for sisterhood, service, brotherhood, leadership development, Alpha Phi Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Kappa Alpha Psi. You look these up, Omega Psi Phi. Now, here's the crossover that this is for people that's just, if you want to go ahead with the information that you know, that's fine. If you want to go with what you've heard, that's fine. I'm just trying to give you something based off if you want to go look something up. Now, when I meant that there was crossover, many members of the Boule are also Divine Nine members, especially from Alpha Phi Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, because they recruit men who have already demonstrated excellence in leadership through college Greek life. They have shared influence in politics, business, and cultural leadership. The Boule is often viewed as more exclusive and elitist. The criticism that some in the conscious and nationalist community have accused the Boule of being a buffer class, protecting white supremacy, especially due to its alignment with the Black bourgeoisie. The Divine Nine gets wrapped into this criticism by association, but the missions of the two, the Divine Nine and the Boule, are not identical. So in summary, the Divine Nine are not the Boule. Many Boule members were and are Divine Nine members. Think of the Boule as a postgraduate, invitation-only fraternity for Black elites, while the Divine Nine are college-based fraternal and soror organizations with broader access and visibility. So that would be as much as I'm going to speak on the Boule. I have nothing else in regards to that. Brother Reggie, I know you joined the panel. Shouts to you. Did you get a chance to watch the show, or are you just now joining us?
No, I was watching it for the last half an hour, and
okay, cool.
I have studied the Boule since the 80s, and so I know a lot about the structure of the Boule. And it is interesting that I gave a document that I got a document, and then I sent it to Steve Coakley and a lot of other people about the Boule.
Mm-hmm.
So you're correct about it being the oldest fraternity. They call themselves the Archons, and the women are called Okuza, right? And basically, Archons is a kind of a French term for like servants of the king. And so when people look at that, they say, well, they are a buffer, but they were founded to protect their way of life. They weren't elite when they were founded. They were a group of dentists and accomplished people with degrees, and they had they wanted to protect their way of life. And so they ultimately, there was a document that they put out internally about not being so secret, because for years they were very, very, very secret. And so then they found they decided to be not so secret. So then you have the Boule Journal, Sigma Pi Phi, and it highlights very accomplished Black men and Black women. And I talked to some of the children of the Boule, right? And like Ogletree, Attorney Ogletree was Boule, Sigma Pi Phi, and was so the recruiting of the Boule is really one simple. It's like, look, I know you don't really care about this this destruction, right? But we need you, right, because of your accomplishments. So the Boule structure is simply you become a Boule when you are a great influencer, meaning if there is a message from the Boule, you can get it to 1,000 Black folks. So almost every member of the Boule has access to hundreds, if not 1,000 or more people, so they can get out a message. And the way that they're recruited said, you're not doing it for yourself. You're already accomplished. You're doing it for your children. And so when they become a Boule, their children don't need for nothing, right? They don't have to interview for jobs, right? Imagine that. They don't have to interview for jobs in Fortune 500 companies where these people are. They just get selected, right? You just put your name on the list, and if you meet the basic qualifications of what this company wants, you automatically get your job. So while we're interviewing, sending in resume, they don't have to do that. They put themselves on the list, and they have subordinates. So the fraternities are subordinates of the Boule. And then you have Jack and Jill, these other societies, and all of these things are kind of like watch stations for up and coming, and to kind of like steer you, right? Until you meet those accomplishments, and those levels are that you have to be highly successful. You have to be highly influential. You cannot be like Bill Cosby tried to be a member of the Boule. No, they don't want any funny people. They want people with high degrees, intelligent, that can rationalize. But one thing that they did, and I'll stop unless someone has a question, is that they took over the civil rights movement. So Reverend Proctor was the grand sire, the grand archon. That is the highest level. And Martin Luther King was Sigma Pi Phi, a Boule. And Jesse Jackson ultimately became one, and I went to Reverend Proctor's funeral, by the way, at Abyssinian Baptist Church, where I met hundreds of Boule, a lot of people from Virginia Union, and a lot of other groups of people who was burying Reverend Proctor. The important thing about it is that during the civil rights movement, they took control over the civil rights movement because they did not want a war between white folks and Black folks. They wanted a more finessed. So what they did is they controlled the civil rights movement. And I'll stop because it's not my show. But many of the famous, and then Jet Magazine, Essence Magazine, I forgot, Black Enterprises, all of these publications were Boule publications. They were all run by Sigma Pi Phi to pronounce their way of life and Black achievement. And I'll stop for now.
Okay. Well, I don't want to miss. I appreciate you, Brother Reggie, more than you know. I don't want to miss. You know, a lot of times I'll say shows like these are refreshing for me. I never really care how they watch. I understand how YouTube works. I don't really care how many people watch, because in my mind, these are things that are going to go up in perpetuity. They'll be here forever. There'll be other issues, and these are the kinds of shows that are refreshing. We can crash out all day long. We could play videos on each other and name call and yell and scream, and you get 1,000 people watching. And I think those are the shows. All you're doing is left feeling okay. It's kind of like a carb or some sugar or something, or caffeine. You feel good in the moment, but when you're done, you're kind of looking for the next thing that's going to entertain you in that way. Shows like these are things that you can go back to as a resource. I love that he used a PowerPoint. Brother Reggie uses a lot of PowerPoints too. I think Chef See, he uses a lot of that information too. You could tell sometimes the people are trying to get information across rather than just a feeling, right? So I want to end the show where I began the show. I was inspired to do this show because of Brother Caleb Wilson, who lost his life at Southern University from Omega Psi Phi. And the reason why I named the show, Are They Still Building Us or Burying Us, is because a lot of times we miss the mess and the message, and we get so caught up in the mess, we miss the message. So in my mind, it does stand to reason, you know, are these fraternities putting us in a position, sororities putting us in a position, and any time they're trying to do these things, are they putting us into a position where maybe it begins to become something that's no longer needed? I don't think so.
It's needed. It's needed because it gives you a choice. Just because you're a member of an organization doesn't mean that you give up your choices. People that some of our Afrocentrists know, like Asa Hilliard was a Boule. You can use the network for more than self-gratification. You could, and then there are pushbacks because some people could never be a part of these organizations, but these organizations say that basically you have to fight the white world. You have to be accomplished. So you have to go through a sense of kind of like burning sands or whatever you want to call it. You got to aspire against all odds. But then there is like what you're talking about, Brass, is interesting because what I found about YouTube is that largely is entertainment. And I've tried to in my work to education and you could don't push back on Reggie, push back on my sources, push back on that, right? And what I find out is that for a lot of people it's just a money grab, right? Self-gratification, ego. But you will never see these people on real committees doing real work, and a lot of them don't have the skill set. And their job is to make all of us to keep them on their levels, right? Why as Kyle and other people are striving for, taking test on test, right? They don't take tests. They don't even, some of these people that we know, they don't even have GEDs, right? But the fact of the matter is they are influencers. And so we need the balance between professional groups of people who can do it only as much as they can do, because the other groups of people, they complain about everything, but they don't work, they don't study, they don't read, right? They don't aspire. They like money, but you won't find too many athletes in the Boule unless they got masters and PhDs, right? Because they think a certain way, right? You're not gonna find a Jordan in the Boule, right? You're gonna find people who can rationalize information and know the difference between selling sneakers that are killing Black folks and profiting versus creating foundations that can reach back down to the lowest level. So for you, I thought, you listen.
Can they do both, brother Reggie?
Can I say one thing? I gotta hop off, but I want to say one thing. I do want to provide some clarity to Boule involvement with civil rights movement. So in its proper context, like right now in 2025, we have a perception of the Boule based on how they are operating in 2025 with the elitism mentality. We gotta put ourselves in a proper context. Back in 1905, 1906, 1960s, these individuals did not have civil rights. These people were Black people that happened to have more than the others. And what they did was help to fund the movement of the people to be liberated. they weren't tied into the federal government at that point in time because they were still niggas, quote unquote. These people were from the community. These were the people who had a little bit more than the other African Americans around them that gave to those people to enhance their fight for freedom. So I do not want this conversation to be misconstrued by anybody based on their false narratives, based on TikToks and stuff like that about what the Boule looping that into some type of negative. Oh, we did the wrong thing. To see the white man control the Boule, and the Boule was this and that. And then in 1975 and 1965, the Boule was invested. That's not what happened. You know, yes, you're right. Martin Luther King does have ties to the Boule, but he does not have ties to in that aspect. You know, if we go back, what's that, 60 years ago, a lot of things have changed. You know, just because there are people in the Boule right now that have their hand in the white man's pocket does not mean that at that point in time that was the direction or the course of action that was fueling their motivation to invest into the civil rights of African Americans. Because we're talking about
I have their own writing. So the difference is that I have chapter X going not so public. Of the 4 categorical changes in the direction of that Sigma Pi Phi instigated after the rebirth of the 1964 Social Action Growth and Expansion Regional Development going public, the least notable achievement was the latter, going public. In 1989, after 85 years of existence, the first Greek letter fraternity of African Americans is still not known by many, either by its official name, Sigma Pi Phi, or by the name that is used most frequently by its members and others who do know it, the Boule. The fact borders on the incredulous. How could an organization of such outstanding leaders and achievers virtually in every field of human endeavor not be known by Black and white society alike? There are even prominent scholars who are not fully aware of the Boule. The answer is simple. This fraternity, composed of such giants as Du Bois, Charles Drew, Raymond Pace Alexander, Benjamin Mays, and the most famous student, the renowned Martin Luther King Jr., to designate but a few departed archons, and not to attempt to draw from the hundreds of great living members, Sigma Pi Phi, from its beginnings, chose to keep its elitism to itself. The Boule was a haven into which its giants could repair for the higher form of camaraderie and fellowship, stimulating conversation, challenging lectures, gourmet dining, originally within the comfort of fine homes of those members. Then, because of increase of members in the subordinate Boules, along with the legal breakdown of African American shameful anti-Black discriminatory practice.
So it's just the Black elite.
It's more than that.
All right, so hold on right there. Let Kyle close out. Reggie, this is his show. Hey, Brass, did you get my text?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on it right now.
All right, yeah, let him close out. Reggie, I want you to come back. I'm about to do a show right after this, and we can get into all of that. You dig what I'm saying?
Because I want to close this out. First off, I'm gonna say thanks to Kyle. You know, the professionalism of doing a PowerPoint. Like I said, my reasoning for doing the show was Caleb Wilson. And me and you know, we have like minds, so we can have some conversations on some things. And I immediately look to you as a resource because we both know, you know, our civics doesn't come from our degrees. Our service comes from the heart. It's definitely something in and around service. And I love that you said that in the program. A lot of times people look at fraternities and sororities as the movies or something that they watch, Nick Cannon and all of that. But in the same token, I live my life through my service. I live my life through my civics. My politics, yeah, that's my degree, but my actions are my civics, and you could tell in my community and my family the successes or failures thereof. So I appreciate you, Kyle. We're going to do a quick after show post discussion while I get some information together so Chef can do a politics as usual while I crash out on Carnivorous Podcast. But Kyle, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you, my brother. Reggie, you can stay for a second because we're not ending it immediately right now. But definitely, Kyle, thank you, my brother.
Hey, thank you as well for the invite. Love coming over here, man. Y'all nothing but love, and we get to have some pretty intellectual conversations and dive into some stuff that, you know, people may not know. So I appreciate the invite, and Y'all have a great evening. I'm gonna be
Yes,
listening.
sir.
All right.
For sure. So now, go ahead, Chef. What you talking about? I'm getting the information together now. What time you want to go live?
Say 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
9:30. So I just throw up a little what's the name? But yeah, I definitely want to hear what Brother Reggie was
Yeah, I
bringing
do.
forth. But I don't want to extend this show out anymore. You dig what I'm saying? I think
No,
it
I
need to
got
be kept right where we at. But definitely good information. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about the fraternal orders, the Greek letter, um, none of that, right? So when he was bringing how they how they spearheaded and the civil rights movement, like or participated early participation in spearheading it, right? Don't want to give them all of the credit, but it's good to know that they was there active, that Black people used their organizational skills in different groups that they participated in actually, because they get a bad name. You dig what I'm saying? Especially not, I would say, by the less educated, right? Which is a lot of us, right? When you talk to people in the hood and anything that's dealing with education is looked down upon, right? If you got some letters, if it's somebody in the hood that's pledging, everybody look at them as corny. You dig what I'm saying? They don't even talk about it when they come back to the hood. You dig what I'm saying? Like they pledge, and it's something that they can't even bring back to their community. You dig what I'm saying? They got to keep that with their college friends, right? When they come back into our neighborhoods, you know, if nowadays we know stuff that they're doing because we follow people on social media. So when we see them, we be like, yo, we heard you pledged or blase, blase, you know what I mean? But and they rarely want to talk about it with us. You dig what I'm saying? Because they know we are, is a complete disconnect there. You know, my daughter, she's in college now and she go to what they call it, ceremonies or pledges or whatever. I'd be like, what you doing today? She'd be like, I'm going to a crossing over, stuff like that. You dig what I'm saying? So she got friends that's doing it while she's in college. So she's always engaged in it. So when y'all said y'all was doing the show on it, I said I definitely need to listen because eventually I feel like my daughter will eventually say I'm gonna do it because a lot of her friends are, you dig what I'm saying? So I can see her little mind turning with that, right? So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, and when she is interested, if you don't mind, I'd be willing to have a conversation with her. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Just to prepare, because a lot of times in these conversations about the pledging, hazing, you know, these are individuals that are doing these things, and a lot of times, trying to parse my words, you don't necessarily know what's right, what's wrong, what's helpful, what's harmful. And a lot of times, people got to remember that these are individuals with their own egos, their own ideas of how things work. Sometimes people are trying to work out their own stuff, and and they working it out on your
On
child.
you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right. So a lot of times, I remember my father. He would say things like to me, like, you know, it ain't about, you know, just a thing. You know, we talk about Caleb Wilson who lost his life, but in all actuality, how many kids that didn't lose their life, but they flunked out of school, bro? I mean, and it's not just Black fraternities and organizations. These are also how can I say this? These are also, you know, sports teams. There are businesses that have pledging practices, hazing practices. You know,
The military.
so it's not just the military, right? There's a
Military.
guy in the military that said he was like, y'all talking about hazing, you know, ask somebody that's in military school about hazing. You know what I mean? So these a lot of times, you know, and God bless that man, Caleb Wilson, who lost his life. That was the whole point of this show. I wanted to have that conversation because the one thing I can't stand, Brother Reggie, about social media is even though it does get a lot of information out, microwave information is eventually going to end this planet. Like I almost want to go into some things that are anti-microwave information. I get tired of talking to people. You know, I'm on my way to a city council meeting. I'm on my way to talk to the mayor. I'm on my way to deal with the students that they're trying to pull out of school because of their parents' immigration status in my own county. And they're stopping me saying, did you hear what they, whoever the hell they is, did you hear what they said, or did you hear what they put on there about what Trump's doing? I done heard so much about what Trump is doing while I'm on my way to actually doing something. I get so tired of it. So this microwave information is becoming dangerous in my eyes, and I think it's something that I've taken in a few of your shows on House of Consciousness. Your shows, it's like I watch the attendance of your shows versus the attendance of the ignorance. I just did a crash out show. 140 people watching the most ignorant stuff for 5 hours. We do a show on information, 40, 50 people spanned across different things. Now, that's not a problem because I understand that. But it's like, I don't always want to give microwave information. Shows like these are refreshing for me. It's also like a service for me when I can't get out and do a service. Next week is Easter. We're giving away a little bit over $125,000 worth of products to kids in and around Newark, New Jersey. We're doing it with the administration in Newark, the administration in Hackensack, and a group that we didn't put the whole thing together, but we're a major part of it. That's the service aspect. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm all about service. I enjoy conversation and discourse, but I'm like you, Brother Reggie. Unless you're doing something, I usually don't stop doing something to even having the conversation with people that are just, anti. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, bro.
No, I listen. I lived it, and I tried social media, for 8 years, and then I find myself being dragged into the most ridiculous conversations, and then I become a clown. I actually, with a degree in computer science, who actually worked with the elders, I actually become normalized, right? As if I didn't accomplish the things that I accomplished because of the how can I say what goes on? But I gave it a try because I thought that even in that, if I can find just 10 people like myself, then I could benefit them, right? I can make them a better researcher, better scholar, right? I could help them solve some problems, right? And I don't know how successful I was with that, but I do know I have had some success, right? And then I've helped people who've called me for different important things about their life, legal cases and stuff, and I have helped them. But I can't. But it's a personal sacrifice of integrity, right? And so I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't want to be long-winded, but I know exactly. There's the doers, and there's the people on the couches, right? And but the doers matter, and so how do we? And so the reason why there was a boule is because they were doers, right? And I suffered with that a long time because I was part of the criticism, and then I grew up, and then I found out that a lot of people are obstructionists. They want to obstruct, but if you ask them to write something, you find out that they can't even write, right? You ask them to research they can't do that. They're not functional like that. So then who do we rely on? We have to rely on people who can make calls and get things done when we as the regular people can't get things done. I'll stop.
Excellent. So in closing, shouts to my brother Chef, shouts to my brother Reggie, shouts to the chat. Fetty, shouts to you, my brother. He says, I'm still reading The Talented Tenth by W.E.B. Du Bois. Du Bois, talk about that on the show, Chef.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's a liability. If Kyle is a Greek, egg beats. I never trust these logos, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Kyle sounds like he is. Yeah, I figure I'm not gonna go there. Psycho, shouts to you, my brother, that good guy. I hope this was informative. It was done in a good spirit. RIP to the brother Caleb Wilson, who lost his life trying to find purpose. He lost his life. You know, he just wanted to belong. Now he's gone. You know, every young man or woman who pledges isn't chasing death. You got to understand they're chasing purpose. They're chasing identity. They're chasing family. But how do you explain that to their parents that family required a casket? You know, we have to be careful sometimes with the individualism of these these Greek letter organizations. Are we victims of brotherhood or blindness? You know, we say brotherhood with pride, but at what point does that bond become a blindfold? I mean, if silence in the face of violence is the cost of brotherhood, maybe we need to redefine what that brotherhood looks like. You know, that's why I wanted to do a show like this that didn't just talk about his death, didn't just talk about it, but I wanted to talk about the good that these fraternities, Freemason, Black Greek letter organizations do without being remiss and forgetting about some of these lives that are lost. There have been about 200 deaths since 1838 in regards to these fraternities and sororities. So I leave y'all with two statements. Tradition without accountability is just trauma on repeat. I'm gonna say it one more time. Tradition without accountability is just trauma on repeat. Legacy is important, but if the legacy is built on bruises and secrets, then maybe it's time to question what we're really preserving. Pain should not be the price of prestige. And I'll leave you with this. Would you trade your son's life for a line jacket? You know, sounds harsh, but we need to say it loud because too many parents are attending probate shows that are at funerals. So if the ultimate cost is life, is that experience worth it? And that's why I wanted to bring up somebody that is a member of a fraternity, is a member of a Black letter Greek organization, is a Freemason, so that can actually show you that there is some service. The basis of all of these things is service, not just serving our own people, but serving humanity. We talked about Omega Psi Phi, participating in the Liberty Bonds before World War I. Omega Psi Phi basically starting the United Negro College Fund before the United Negro College Fund. Things that Kappa Alpha Psi did, Alpha Phi Alpha. We're talking about Reverend Abernathy. We're talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, how they helped damn near fund the civil rights movement, even with Reggie talking about different things funding the civil rights movement. So I just wanted to give y'all the dichotomy, the different parallels, so you can make the decision for yourself. And I start the show with RIP Caleb Wilson. I'm going to end the show on RIP Caleb Wilson. We love you, brother. We send love out to your family. I'm actually going to figure out a way to where we could donate some money in the name of Carnivorous Podcast and Tri Media. And on that note, get ready for Chef live tonight. He's doing politics as usual at 9:30. That flyer will be out in the next 10 minutes or so. Look out for DQ on Tuesday. He's doing an EP show. He actually going to be live discussing the tracks. I know Chef ain't going to miss that one. And shouts to y'all. We love y'all. We do this in peace. It's a Sunday night. It's very refreshing to not crash out and actually give good information. We love y'all and we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Tri Media. Hey, Tri Media. It's DQ, baby. Tri Media. Check. Tri Media Innovations, we gotta wait. What? Took a little minute, was patient, but now we take it. Anytime we want this game, my situation is entertainment intertwined with information. Alchemist soul, how we move the tassel and roll. It's amazing how we can turn something brass to gold. And we steady making hits. Architect with the prop in the scripts. It's logical that the product will flip. My boy Chef did the lineup, I'm fresh in the bitch. Carnivorous Podcast, the newest show on the list. DQ on the boat, so I'm rocking the ship. Swallow the music gon' be dope and the artist legit. Hold my beard, concrete cord, then stepped in the door. See, that's my man and he reppin' for show. And true savior's a player with flavor. Lexicon Taylor, lines on point like a laser. We need that paper, we building the vault. Cause you niggas don't listen, y'all be waiting to talk. Lack accountability and try to make it our fault. But opposing us is trying to arm wrestle the hawk. You coming up short on your re-up, nigga we up. Really wouldn't want to be up. I kick my feet up. My beef is wagyu and my trunk is all speakers. Bills is all blue and my blunt is all reefer. With possible deniability, that boy eater. High quality whack juice by the liter. They like to call us ops, we got Oppenheimer features. That's the bomb out on the island just to teach you.
I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. Better nigga wanna be a real nigga like me. Can't be like me. I'm a crazy ass nigga, no controlling shit. What you saying to me, no controlling this beat. Crazy to me, how you claim to be. What you don't understand, I'm a G. What you don't understand, I'm a beast. Let me know if you can talk like me. Swag guy with a pipe full of cash on me. That's why I always got a sag on me. Make a bitch pop a tag on me. Put the dick down, put the gas on me. I'm a grown man. 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 I've been grown for a while, man. I don't even know what it feel like to be a child, man. I've been living like a wild man. Might do a show, pop everybody in the crowd, man. Like 5, 5, 5. You get it too. Tight on the 1, hitting out the 2. Fucking my bitch only time I come 2. If you want pounds, get him 3 for the 2. 1 for the 2. Got a whole lot of that, these niggas, they want my spot, I'm perfect. I've been so fucked up that everything I do is purposed. Niggas out there flexing with no money, what's your purpose? I've been so fucked up that everything I do is worth it. Worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it. Been so fucked up that everything I do is worth it. I'm a grown man, I'm a grown man, I'm a grown man. Better nigga wanna be a real nigga like me. Can't be like me, I'm a crazy ass nigga, no controlling shit. What you saying to me, no controlling this beat. Crazy to me, how you claim to be. What you don't understand, I'm a G. What you don't understand, I'm a B. Let me know if you can talk like me. Swag guy with a pipe full of cash on me. That's why I always got a sag on me.